Chapter 1722. 1722. The 1722 region was unified. In front of the Dragon Phoenix City, the 200,000-strong army of the Wuji Empire heard the order of the Dragon Phoenix Empress and began to panic. Even their invincible Emperor Lord and ancestor had been killed. What else could they use to fight against the Dragon Phoenix Empire? At this moment, everyone in the Wuji Empire had lost their fighting spirit. They started to beg for mercy in fear. No, how could this happen? Why, how could this happen? Emperor Martial Limit and the others are 4 longevity realm experts. Moreover, the Wuji Empire announced the establishment of the empire, yet they were easily killed by the Sky Demon. I don't believe it. At this moment, the several hundred members of the mercenary group shook their heads and watched this scene with some madness. They had originally thought that the Martial Limit Imperial Lord and the others had established an empire and had 4 experts at the longevity realm. Any one of the longevity realm experts could suppress a vast area. Now that there were 4 of them, wouldn't it be even easier? Even though they knew that the Sky Demon also had experts at the longevity realm, they were still not on the same level of battle. Now that they saw the Sky Demon palm 1 Martial Limit Imperial Lord and Patriarch Dark Eye, each attack seemed to hit their hearts, making it difficult for them to breathe. Kill! At this moment, on the city wall, 11 figures were emitting a violent and invincible aura as they directly attacked toward the location below. The violent Ao Chigen, the Ao sword with sharp sword chi. The Ao Yao hiding in the void, the Ao Chi wreaking havoc with lightning. The fierce wind whistled, and the Ao Xingmu swayed its branches. 11 leaders of the Dragon Palace and 11 powerful beings who were half a step away from longevity rushed into the battlefield. Run. There were only 5 half-step to longevity level demon beasts in the entire Wuji Empire, and there were only 10 half-step to longevity level demon beasts. The 10 leaders locked onto 10 half-step to longevity level demon beasts. As for Ao Chitian, he waved the ocean-pacifying divine needle and wreaked havoc on the battlefield like a mad demon that had descended from the sky. Kill. The 11 leaders of the Dragon Palace took the lead and charged out. The soldiers of the Dragon Phoenix Empire were not willing to lag behind. They raised their weapons excitedly and flew over to attack everyone in the Wuji Empire. The Southern Royal Family is willing to submit to the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Run. The 2 ancestors of the Southern Royal Family shouted in fear when they saw the leader of the Dragon Palace charging toward them. However, they didn't have the will to fight when they saw the cold eyes of the leader of the Dragon Palace. They turned around and fled. The Dragon and Phoenix Empire didn't accept surrender. They would die if they couldn't escape from this battle that was destined to fail. However, it was very difficult for them to escape. The empire that we just established, the 6th great empire of the Transcendental Continent, is going to be destroyed in less than a day. All the citizens of the Wuji Empire. Just a moment ago, they were still proud of the establishment of their empire and the strength of their country. However, in less than half a day, they were going to be destroyed. And it was destroyed by an empire. This. Phew, little Xian, it's all thanks to you this time. If it wasn't for you, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire would have been completely destroyed. Feng Wan stood on the city wall and heaved a heavy sigh of relief when she saw that the situation was set in stone. If it wasn't for Wang Xian, the entire Dragon and Phoenix Empire would have been destroyed. However, this wasn't the first time Wang Xian had saved the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. It's just a small matter. Wang Xian smiled faintly. Let's go to the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. I already know the way to enter. His gaze swept across the battlefield. The situation on the entire battlefield was completely stable. Everyone in the Wuji Empire could forget about escaping. An empire that had just been established would be destroyed immediately. In the future, it would probably become a joke in the vast region. After this battle, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire would also completely unify the vast region. Little Xian, You know the entrance to the ruins of the Divine Kingdom? That's great. The Wuji Empire has just obtained the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, and they were able to elevate the three of them to the realm of longevity. There must be a lot of resources inside. Lan Qingyue's eyes lit up when she heard Wang Xian's words. According to the information I received, the owner of the ruins of the Divine Kingdom was once a peerless expert at level 9 of longevity established 210,000 years ago. However, in the past few 100,000 years, he became a god without a sect and left behind ruins here. The resources inside the ruins of the Divine Kingdom of such a terrifying expert are definitely terrifying. Feng Wan said from the side. The resources inside are indeed huge. Wang Xian's eyes were sparkling. Come, let's go. All right, let me give some instructions. Feng Wan nodded and gave some instructions to a few important officials. Then, she nodded to Wang Xian. I'll bring all of you to teleport. Wang Xian looked at the group of girls. His body trembled as he brought them to teleport a few 100 kilometers away. On the city wall, a group of civil officials saw Wang Xian leading their queen to teleport away. All of them had looks of admiration on their faces. It was as if they were looking at a god that they worshipped. After 2 teleportations, they arrived at the sky above the center of the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Wang Xian walked to a spot and a dense dark force surged downwards. According to the memories in his mind, an entrance appeared in their sight very quickly. Excitement and anticipation flashed in his eyes. He looked at the group of girls beside him, nodded and flew straight in. Just as he stepped in, a vast amount of demonic qi rushed over. The density of the demonic qi inside was dozens of times that of the outside world. Let's enter the central hall first and take control of the entire God Country ruins. There are many dark souls inside. There are even many high-grade spiritual herbs in the other side of the ruins of the Kingdom of God's Dark Curtain Garden. There are even quite a number of 5th or 6th level longevity herbs. Based on the memories he obtained, Wang Xian walked into the central hall with burning eyes. Even though the entire ruins of the Kingdom of God had been washed away for more than 200,000 years, it still did not decay. Hiss, there are so many souls of darkness. They are actually sealed in balls. As they passed by a hall, a group of female students cried out in surprise. Even Feng Wan was filled with shock as she watched. As expected of an expert that is close to God. Even when I was at my peak, there is still a huge gap between us. Feng Wan's eyes flickered as she looked at the darkness souls one by one. There were a few thousand darkness souls in total. The lowest level was at the 9th level of the Profound Void tier, and there were over 100 longevity level ones. The reason why Wu Juding and the rest were able to level up so quickly is because they absorbed the darkness souls. These darkness souls are one of the most precious items in the entire ruins of the Divine Kingdom. Wang Xian said, in the entire ruins of the Divine Kingdom of Darkness, other than the darkness souls, which could be converted into dragon energy, there were also huge spiritual herbs. Other than that, there was another item that was extremely important to Wang Xian. A longevity-grade metal. The metal here was enough to upgrade the level of the Dragon Palace to level 5. Chapter 1723. 1723 1723 strength had increased tremendously. Wow, the entire ruins of the Kingdom of God is a huge treasure trove. No wonder the legends say that whoever can control the ruins of the Kingdom of God will be able to build an empire. There are too many resources in here. If the Wuji Empire can steadily increase their strength in here, they might be able to build a real empire in a few decades. Wang Xian led a group of girls to browse through the ruins of the Kingdom of God. They were shocked when they saw the buildings and all kinds of resources inside. The ruins of the Kingdom of God that spanned over 1,000 kilometers looked like a huge manor. There were powerful formations and high-grade spiritual herbs. Each of the luxurious buildings had offensive weapons that could kill those in the longevity realm. Phew, with the resources here, even without your help, I can build a real empire in 2 years at most. Feng Yuan was excited as well. You should mainly increase your strength. As for the longevity realm experts, you don't have to nurture too many of them. Wang Xian looked at Feng Yuan and said, I have made some preparations in the Central Continent region for the revenge against the Phoenix Empire. The Nine-God Empire can go all out when the time comes. What? The Nine-God Empire? Feng Yuan was slightly taken aback. Her eyes revealed a look of disbelief. Although the Nine-God Empire is the weakest among the empires, it is only slightly weaker than the Phoenix Empire. If we have their help, you don't have to worry about the rest of the matters. Just focus on improving your strength. In terms of resources, the main focus is on improving the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian said to Feng Yuan directly. I know that the resources that are wasted in nurturing longevity experts can increase the number of longevity experts in the Dragon Palace by 2 to 3. I didn't come to the Transcendence Continent to become an empress who holds great power. I just felt indignant and wanted revenge. Feng Yuan looked at Wang Xian and said slowly, Sister Feng Yuan, with US and Shaoxian around, revenge is just around the corner. Don't feel so pressured. Leave everything to Shaoxian. After you take your revenge, you can join our Dragon Palace as well. Wouldn't that be better? Guan Shuqing held Feng Yuan's arm and said. Feng Yuan smiled faintly and looked at Wang Xian. Naturally, I'll have to rely on your powerful husband's help. Without his help, I might not even be able to establish a dynasty now, let alone take revenge. With these resources, the Dragon Palace will be able to improve greatly. Our strength will be able to take a qualitative leap. Wang Xian said to Feng Yuan. Okay. Feng Yuan's eyes shone with a fiery light. Standing beside Wang Xian, the desire for revenge and the desire to establish an empire in her heart was getting smaller and smaller. She hoped that the Dragon Palace would become stronger and stronger. I want to go out first and unify the entire vast region. After that, our strength will increase even faster. Feng Yuan said to Wang Xian and the rest. Let's treat the ruins of the Divine Kingdom as the capital of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire in the future. When the time is right, we will announce the establishment of the empire. Wang Xian nodded his head. Sister Feng Yuan, we will go out with you. When the empire is established, we will be the beautiful elder group that founded the empire. The group of girls said happily in their hearts. As the sixth largest empire on the Transcendence Continent, their beautiful elder group would definitely be famous on the continent and would even be passed down through the ages. The group of girls were very happy just thinking about it. After the group of girls left, Wang Xian immediately went to the location of the Soul of Darkness. Looking at the thousands of Soul of Darkness, his eyes revealed an excited looks. After devouring all of them, my realm will be able to increase by at least 2 levels, reaching the first level of longevity. The real longevity realm, coupled with the fact that I can surpass 5 levels in my combat strength, can kill a person of the 6th level of longevity. It is definitely a qualitative improvement. Wang Xian's eyes revealed a look of fanaticism. His body moved and immediately transformed into the body of a divine dragon. The huge dragon body directly devoured the souls of darkness. The sealed souls of darkness could be absorbed by the heart of darkness and could rapidly transform into dragon chi. Wang Xian opened his mouth and devoured more than a dozen of them in one go. The dragon chi was increasing at a terrifying speed. Every time he devoured more than a dozen of them, the aura on his body became heavier. Ding! Congratulations to host for achieving a breakthrough in your level. As you have comprehended the strongest aspect of light and darkness, yin and yang, the 2 extremes of yin and yang have been further strengthened, strengthening the dragon tail. Ding! Congratulations to host for strengthening the dragon's tail with the 2 extremes of yin and yang. The divine dragon's tail has been strengthened. When Wang Xian had only devoured a quarter of the dragon's tail, the system notification of an upgrade rang in his mind. At the same time, Wang Xian's body expanded once again. His entire body was enveloped by a 7-colored radiance. He did not stop and continued to devour the souls of darkness. Time passed slowly. The number of souls of darkness decreased at a terrifying speed. Ding! Congratulations to host for breaking through to the first level of longevity. When there were only about 30 souls of darkness left, a terrifying aura rushed straight from Wang Xian's body. This aura was different from the breakthrough just now. The entire aura was even more vast and terrifying. The level of the divine dragon was not as high as the half-step longevity realm. Therefore, Wang Xian's upgrade this time was equivalent to the upgrade of an ordinary creature by 2 levels. His dragon body had directly increased to a height of 2,000 meters. A 7-colored light enveloped him. It was as powerful as hell. Ding! Congratulations to host for comprehending the domain of the 7-colored dragon realm. Ding! Congratulations to host for attaining the 4th change of the divine dragon transformation. The energy of the dragon crystal has been converted into divine crystals. Ding! Congratulations to host for reaching the level of a demigod creature. You possess part of the divine characteristics. Ding! Congratulations to host for reaching the level of a demigod weapon with the 5 elements grinding. Name: Wang Xian. Race: Yin-Yang 5 elements divine dragon, Mandragon unity. Level: Longevity 1, 4th change of the divine dragon transformation. Divine crystal 0, 5/1000. Supernatural ability: ruling the water tribe that is lower than your own level. Devour living things to extract divine crystals. Control of the 5 elements. Cultivation method: divine dragon transformation. Supernatural ability: soul absorbing, spirit attaching, Yin-Yang 5 elements dragon eyes. Aspect: 5 elements grinding, dragon kingdom in the palm, dragon head under the heavens, dragon body of 10,000 miles, Yin-Yang poles, Yin-Yang 5 elements arms bowl, divine dragon tail swing. Domain: Rainbow Dragon Domain. Dragon Palace, Level 4. Members of Dragon Palace, 20,333. Phew, so powerful. Having completely broken through to the first level of longevity, Wang Xian could feel his own strength. Excitement could be seen in his eyes. The first level of longevity could kill a person of the 6th level of longevity. From the 3rd level of longevity to the 6th level of longevity, his strength had increased explosively. Especially now that Wang Xian was in control of the real domain, his teleportation range had reached 1,200 kilometers. In addition, his only weapon at the moment, the great grinding of the 5 elements, had been upgraded to a semi-divine weapon during his breakthrough. I'm one step closer to dominating the supernatural continent. The next step is to upgrade the level of the Dragon Palace and the strength of the members of the Dragon Palace. Chapter 1724. 1724-1724's strength increased drastically. The realm of longevity was also known as the demigod realm. The so-called gods could achieve a decapitation without death and a heart explosion without deaths. A powerful god could achieve a blood rebirth. Upon reaching the mirror of God, one would have a lifespan of 100,000 years. 100,000 years was an extremely huge number. As one of the top divine dragons in the universe, Wang Xian had broken through to the demigod realm and possessed part of the characteristics of a god. Now, he possessed a terrifying recovery ability. As long as it was not a fatal injury, he could recover quickly. The demigod artifact, the 5 elements grinding, already possessed a trace of divinity. A true divine artifact possessed its own consciousness and possessed an earth-shattering attack. Upon reaching the deity realm, the standard to measure the strength of a deity was the divine kingdom and the divine artifact in one's hand. First, I will upgrade the Dragon Palace to level 5. When the Dragon Palace reaches level 5, I will have the ability to fight against the dragon race of the supernatural continent. Wang Xian sensed his powerful strength and collected the longevity level materials and the longevity level formations in the ruins of the divine kingdom. After flying out of the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, his mind stirred and rays of weak seven-colored light covered the surroundings. This was the seven-colored dragon territory. Wang Xian had yet to fully utilize it. But, with a thought, he teleported to a place 1,200 kilometers away. A second later, Wang Xian continued to teleport. In less than a minute, Wang Xian arrived directly above the Dragon Palace. At this moment, the leaders of the Dragon Palace had yet to return. They were helping Feng Wan and the rest unify the vast continent. Dragon King. Prime Minister Gue came over and greeted respectfully. It's time to upgrade the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Gue and said with a smile on his face. With the sudden increase in strength and the imminent upgrade of the Dragon Palace, he was in a good mood. The Dragon Palace is about to be upgraded. A hint of excitement flashed across Prime Minister Gue's eyes as he followed quietly beside Wang Xian. Ding. Longevity-level metal materials and sufficient spiritual stones found. Do you wish to upgrade the Dragon King Palace? Ding. 10 longevity-level array formations and sufficient spiritual stones found. Do you wish to upgrade the Dragon King Palace? The voices of the system rang one after another. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. Upgrade all of them. Ding. All buildings have been upgraded. The level of the Dragon Palace has been upgraded to level 5. Dragon Palace, level 5. Dragon Master, Wang Xian, Longevity First Level Yin-Yang 5 Elemental Divine Dragon. Buildings. Dragon King Hall, level 5, increases the Dragon King's cultivation speed and recovery speed by 96 times. Dragon Transformation Pool, level 5, absorbing dragon blood can give birth to a dragon seed, Divine Crystal, 0, 22. Dragon Gate, level 5, a fish can only become a dragon if it leaps through the Dragon Gate. It is effective against creatures below the Divine Realm. Ocean Pacifying Needle, level 5, Pillar of the Dragon Palace, pacify the Dragon Palace for 2,000 kilometers, increase the combat strength of the members of the Dragon Palace by 500%. Dragon Cave, level 5, with 50,000 dragon caves, the cultivation speed of the creatures in the Dragon Cave will be increased by 64 times. Dragon Field, level 5, practice martial arts in the Dragon Field, increase comprehension by 32 times. Dragon Array, level 5, Dragon Palace Array, concealment, defense, gathering of spiritual energy, teleportation, detection, attack. Spiritual item. Ancestral Tree, level, able to return to the spirit realm and below. Activated spiritual intelligence of living creatures. Increases the speed of fire attribute cultivators by 200%. Attached, Dragon Transformation Pool to nurture dragon seeds. Current dragon seeds, Golden Swordfish, Thunder Shrimp, Demon Monkey, Strange Demon, Light Spike, Hydra, Dragon Turtle, Yaksha, Clam Girl, Golden Lobster, Starwood Dragon Seed, Fire Phoenix Dragon Seed. The moment the Dragon Palace was upgraded, a surge of terrifying spiritual energy charged straight at them. The surrounding tens of thousands of kilometers of spiritual energy surged straight at them, causing the spiritual energy in the Dragon Palace to double. In the Dragon King Palace, 1 day of Wang Xian's cultivation was equivalent to 90 days of cultivation in the outside world. In the Dragon Cave, 1 day of cultivation by the members of the Dragon Palace was equivalent to 64 days in the outside world. With such a terrifying increase, even if the members of the Dragon Palace had been cultivating in the Dragon Cave, they would still be able to reach the realm of longevity after 10 years. This was the strength of the Dragon Palace. The ruins of the Divine Kingdom was several times weaker than the Dragon Palace. Wang Xian moved and arrived above the Dragon Palace. He looked down at the vast Dragon Palace. The entire Dragon Palace had expanded from a few hundred kilometers to a range of 1,000 kilometers. The 10,000-meter-tall ocean-pacifying divine needles and the towering buildings had reached 1,000 to 2,000 meters. The majestic Dragon King Hall and the mysterious and powerful Dragon Cave. the 9 dragon pillars of the divine dragons and the golden blood flowing in the mysterious dragon transformation pool. Everything was like the divine palace in the legends. The ruins of the divine kingdom could not be compared to the current dragon palace. I look forward to the day when the dragon palace turns into the divine kingdom. Wang Xian looked down at his palace with a twinkle in his eyes. A smile appeared on his face. Next is the time to upgrade the members of the Dragon Palace. After that, I will develop steadily for a period of time. Wang Xian thought to himself. With a flash, he appeared 1,200 kilometers away. In less than a minute, Wang Xian appeared above Dragon and Phoenix City. At this moment, there weren't many people in Dragon and Phoenix City. With a flash, he arrived at Wuji City. Feng Luan and a group of girls were ordering their subordinates to take over Wuji City. Little Xian, your temperament seems to have changed a lot. Seeing Wang Xian coming over, the group of girls looked over and immediately asked with sparkling eyes. The current Wang Xian had broken through to the realm of longevity. He already possessed a trace of divinity in his body. His entire person was more noble than before. The colorful dragon robe draped over his body and his handsome face made all the girls' eyes light up. It was not an exaggeration to say that Wang Xian was a peerless beauty. It was not a problem for him to claim to be the most handsome man in the transcendental continent. How are the matters here being handled? Wang Xian laughed and asked. It will take at least 10 days to completely subdue the vast region. In addition to some trivial matters, it will take at least a month to settle. Feng Luan said to him. I'll leave the matters outside to you. I'll take Shu Qing and the rest back. Wang Xian said to Feng Luan and winked at the girls. At this moment, 8 of them rolled their eyes. Feng Luan looked at him speechlessly and shook her head helplessly. You can go. I'll look for you guys in the Dragon Palace in a month's time. I hope that you guys can settle your matters properly. Feng Luan mocked them with a hint of meaning. Hee, let's go, wives. Wang Xian waved his arm and disappeared instantly. Feng Luan watched them disappear directly. Her face turned slightly red and a hint of envy flashed across her face. Following that, she shook her head and regained her dignified look. After returning to the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian gathered all the members of the Dragon Palace. He gathered a portion of the spiritual herbs from the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, along with the 4 longevity realm corpses of Wuju and the 200,000 corpses. The strength of the members of the Dragon Palace also rose rapidly. 4 corpses of the longevity realm were enough for the Dragon Palace to produce 2 longevity realm experts. In addition to the terrifying resources in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom, the longevity experts of the Dragon Palace were born one by one. Chapter 1725 1725 Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Time passed slowly. After the 4 longevity experts of the Wuji Empire were killed by Wang Xian, the entire vast region was shocked. After everyone was shocked that the Wuji Empire, which had been established for a day, was destroyed, Feng Luan unified the entire vast region in an orderly manner. With the destruction of the Wuji Empire and the killing of all the experts, no faction in the entire vast region dared to defy the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. All the sects and families obediently joined the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Half a month later, the entire vast region was completely unified. In the next half a month, the entire vast region was visited by tens of thousands of cities. All the experts and city lords of the cities came to pay their respects. The imperial city of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire had been relocated to the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. As the ruins of the Divine Kingdom with a radius of several thousand kilometers, it was more than enough to serve as the imperial city of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Phew, everything is finally settled. After more than a month, Feng Luan came to the Dragon Palace. Looking at the group of girls who were eating delicious food with Wang Xian, she walked over and said with a smile, Sister Feng Luan, come and eat delicious food together. You must be exhausted from the past month. We can't help much. The group of girls immediately called her over. In the past month, Wang Xian had been staying in the Dragon Palace. The group of girls had made a few trips to the ruins of the Divine Kingdom. However, they weren't of much help. It's alright. The Dragon and Phoenix Empire is on the right track now. Feng Wan walked over with a smile and sat at the side. After unifying the vast region and adding the flowing sea region, the territory of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire wasn't any smaller than that of the Phoenix Empire. The only difference was that their overall strength was much weaker. That's good. Sister Feng Wan, you should stay in the Dragon Palace more often. The Dragon Palace has already leveled up. Cultivating here for a day is equivalent to cultivating in the outside world for more than 90 days. Guan Shuqing said with a smile. Feng Wan nodded. When she arrived above the Dragon Palace, her face was full of shock. Feeling the vast energy of the Dragon Palace, she was absolutely sure that the current Dragon Palace was even stronger than the Phoenix Empire's imperial city. The resources in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom can allow the Dragon and Phoenix Empire to nurture 5 longevity experts. It can allow my strength to reach around the 3rd level of longevity. I'm very close to my peak. Wang Xian, I plan to get the Fire Lark tribe to come over after a period of time. In addition, I want to build an empire. With the ruins of the Divine Kingdom as the imperial city, even if the Phoenix Empire knows that I'm still alive, they won't be able to do anything. Feng Wan hesitated for a moment and said to Wang Xian, "When are you planning to build an empire?" Wang Xian asked her. "I think it will take more than a year." Feng Wan muttered. "Sure." Wang Xian nodded. At most 2 years, the Dragon Palace might be moving to the Sea of Extraordinariness. Sea of Extraordinariness? That's the territory of the Dragon Tribe. All the demonic beasts and ferocious beasts are under the control of the Dragon Tribe. As far as I know, there might be more than 1,000 longevity experts of the Dragon Tribe. It's very terrifying. Feng Wan said in surprise. What? Thousands of longevity experts? The group of girls were slightly shocked. The dragon race is stronger than you think. However, I once said that after 10 years, we will stand at the top of the continent. Now, 6 years have passed. Wang Xian smiled and said faintly, "That's right. We have been here for 6 years. Time flies." The group of girls nodded their heads with emotion. In the following period of time, cultivate well. Wang Xian said to the group of girls. It was just as he said. After the vast area was unified, there were no more disputes. Wang Xian and the group of girls either cultivated or slept together. In the Dragon Palace that was 1,000 kilometers away, Wang Xian planted all the spiritual herbs and trees that he obtained from the Life and Death Elixir Workshop in the Dragon Palace. At the same time, Feng Wan also planted all the medicinal pills in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom into the Dragon Palace. Perhaps it was because of the ancestral tree and the terrifying spiritual energy of the Dragon Palace. The growth rate of these spiritual herbs in the Dragon Palace was hundreds of times faster than the outside world. The weapon refining workshop of the Dragon Palace had been opened in every city in the vast region. The resources that were obtained every day were twice as much as before. The entire Dragon Palace was thriving and its strength was increasing every day. The resources in the ruins of the Divine Kingdom had quickly transformed into the strength of the Dragon Palace. The Dragon and Phoenix Empire was getting stronger and stronger as well. All kinds of experts were emerging one after another. It's about time. In a flash, 2 years had passed. Feng Wan flew out from the dragon transformation pool. She looked at Wang Xian, Guan Shuqing, and the rest beside the dragon transformation pool and said with a smile on her face, "It's about time." Wang Xian nodded his head. 2 years had passed. The Dragon Palace had been developing quietly for 2 years, and the Dragon Phoenix Empire had also developed for 2 years. Through the resources in the Divine Kingdom ruins, the Dragon Phoenix Empire had nurtured 5 longevity experts. Feng Wan's strength had also broken through to the 3rd level of longevity. The 3rd level of longevity. If she were to transform into a fire phoenix, she would be able to fight against the 4th level of longevity. At her peak, Feng Yuan's strength was at level 5 of longevity. There was only a difference of 1 level. As for the strength of the Dragon Palace, it had also received a terrifying increase. Including Xiaolon, there were already 24 people at the level of longevity. Although all of them were at level 1 of longevity, they were able to fight against enemies at level 2 of longevity. There were 12 leaders of the Dragon Palace, 9 flood dragons, Ao Crab, Lan Qingyue, and Xiaolon. Wang Xian himself was not included. His strength had not improved in the past 2 years. As for the rest of the members of the Dragon Palace, each of them had improved by at least 2 levels. The establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire is not something that is casually announced. This time, it will be announced to the world. I will invite the other 5 empires on the continent to come and watch the ceremony. I will invite all the factions in the entire Transcendence continent. Feng Yuan's eyes sparkled. When the Phoenix Empire was established, all the factions on the Transcendence continent came to attend the ceremony. With the approval of all the factions, the Phoenix Empire became the 5th empire on the continent. This time, she was using the same method to announce the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire to the entire Transcendence continent. Why don't you announce your identity in advance and see how the Phoenix Empire will react? Wang Xian hesitated for a moment and said to Feng Yuan, "Thank you, Xiao Xian." Feng Yuan was slightly stunned when she heard Wang Xian's words. She looked at him in a daze and ran her hand through her hair as she said softly. She knew what Wang Xian meant. Once she revealed her identity, the real revenge would begin. With the strength of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, it was not enough to go against the Phoenix Empire. Since Wang Xian had said it, it meant that the Dragon Palace would be her strongest backing. However, I plan to announce it to the world on the day of the Empire's establishment. Announce to everyone that I, Feng Yuan, have returned. I want everyone to know that I will get back what I lost. Feng Yuan had a determined look on her face. Her eyes were sparkling as she continued, I really want to know how the Phoenix Empire will react at that time. Wang Xian nodded silently and supported her decision. Chapter 1726. 1726. In the 1726 Dragon Phoenix Empire, our Empress has announced that we will establish an empire in a month's time. We will become the 6th largest empire on the continent. In the past 2 years, our Dragon Phoenix Empire has produced 5 experts of the longevity realm. Moreover, our Empress strength is even more terrifying. Together with our Lord Wang, we are completely comparable to the other empires on the continent. That's right. I never thought that we would one day become citizens of an empire. I've followed our Empress all the way from a small dynasty in a city to the unification of the Flowing Sea region, and finally to the unification of a vast region. Now that we've established an empire, it's only been 8 years. This is simply too terrifying. That's right. From a dynasty to an empire, it's only taken 8 years. Just thinking about it makes me a little incredulous. In that case, I can be considered as a contributor to the founding of the empire. Moreover, the establishment of our empire this time is not something that the trash empire of Wuji can compare to. Our Empress wants to invite all the powerful factions of the empires in the Transcendence continent to attend the ceremony. She wants to be acknowledged by the entire Transcendence continent. The next day, after Feng Yuan and Wang Xian discussed the date of the establishment of the empire, they immediately announced it to the entire Dragon and Phoenix Empire. When the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire heard the news, they were all excited. Especially those soldiers who had followed the Empress all the way here. Their faces were filled with pride and pride. Their country was about to advance to the 6th empire on the continent. Unlike the Wuji Empire, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire would invite all the powers on the Transcendence continent to come and watch the ceremony. 5 longevity-level experts had already gone to the Central Continent region to invite the 5 empires and other powers. At the same time, not only the central continent region, but other regions of the same level as the vast region were also invited. The establishment of the empire this time would invite all the factions on the continent. On the first day of Feng Luan's announcement, the entire Dragon and Phoenix Empire had already started to make preparations for the grand event in a month's time. Jubilation and excitement filled the entire vast region. From the dynasty to the empire, it only took 8 years. This was a grand occasion for the entire vast region. Seniors, I'll go inform the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan and the Nine God Empire. I'll leave the rest to you. In the central continent region, Feng Lingtian said to the other elders with a smile. All right, Brother Feng, let's part ways for now. The 4 elders nodded at Feng Lingtian. Let's make a trip to the Nine God Empire first, and then go to the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. Feng Lingtian thought to himself. His body moved and he quickly flew towards the Nine God Empire. Feng Lingtian had always been working in the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, so Feng Luan had raised his strength to the first rank of longevity. He flew to the Nine God Empire. When the news reached there, Mo Sha immediately received it personally after receiving the news. He was not too surprised when the Dragon and Phoenix Empire announced that they had become an empire. In the past 2 years, due to Wang Xian, Mo Sha had a detailed understanding of the vast region. Mo Sha was also very clear about the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. However, what made him curious was the identity of the Empress of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. In the end, he blamed the Dragon Phoenix Empress on the position of his boss's old lover. It was naturally easy for his boss to establish an empire. Brother Feng, go back and tell the Dragon Phoenix Empress that our Nine God Empire will naturally prepare a generous gift to congratulate the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Mo Sha said to Feng Lingtian with a face full of enthusiasm. This made Feng Lingtian feel flattered. He never expected that the Emperor of the Nine God Empire would actually be so easy to talk to and so polite. This was an existence that was several levels higher than him, the Emperor of an empire that had existed on the continent for hundreds of thousands of years. All right. I will thank the Nine God Emperor on behalf of our Empress for coming to watch the ceremony. Feng Lingtian said respectfully. No need. Mo Sha smiled and waved his hand. In the end, Feng Lingtian was sent out of the Nine God Empire by Mo Sha's enthusiasm. This Nine God Emperor is a little strange. Forget it, let's go to the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. Feng Lingtian muttered. His body moved and he immediately flew into the weapon peak. He did not know the relationship between Mo Sha and Wang Xian. If he knew, he would not find it strange. The weapon peak was where the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan was currently located. Ever since the Fire Cloud mountain range was occupied by the Phoenix dynasty and the Sacred Fire clan, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan could only move to the weapon peak. They relied on the protection of the Nine God Empire to survive. Members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, an envoy from the Dragon Phoenix Empire has come to pay a visit. When Feng Lingtian arrived at the empty weapon peak, he immediately spoke. He also knew that the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan was the most loyal subordinate of Empress Feng Luan. Dragon Phoenix Empire? Patriarch Feng Yun, who was at the peak of the weapon peak, was slightly stunned when he heard Feng Lingtian's words. His face revealed a look of joy. Envoy of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, welcome. Feng Yun hurriedly shouted and floated at the peak to welcome him. This must be Senior Feng Yun. Feng Lingtian looked at Feng Yun, cupped his hands and asked with a smile. Yes, this old man. Young friend, come in and talk. Patriarch Feng Yun nodded and invited him. Okay. Feng Lingtian nodded and entered the weapon peak. Some of the higher-ups of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan heard their conversation and their eyes sparkled. A look of anticipation appeared on their faces. Senior Feng, in the name of the Empress, I am here to inform you that the Dragon Phoenix Empire will be established in a month. The Empress said that you can come back. Entering a study room on the weapon peak, Feng Lingtian said directly. The Dragon Phoenix Empire is established. Patriarch Feng Yun was instantly stunned when he heard Feng Lingtian's words, and tears immediately followed. Our Huayun can finally return to the Empress's side again. Feng Yun raised her head, and her body trembled slightly. It has been more than 1,800 years. She sighed heavily. Senior Feng Yun, this is something to be happy about. The Empress has asked me to bring the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan back. Feng Lingtian looked at the loyal Feng Yun, his heart filled with admiration. Ah, that's right, this old man is being too pretentious. Dragon Phoenix Empire, ha, Dragon Phoenix Empire. Feng Yun laughed heartily and said with some anticipation, "Little friend, wait a moment. I will immediately get the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan to prepare. We will head to the Dragon Phoenix Empire today." All right. Feng Lingtian nodded with a smile. Feng Yun did not care about his impoliteness and immediately flew out to gather all the higher-ups of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. Immediately get all the clansmen to prepare. Today we will head to the vast region and head to the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Feng Yun immediately gave an order. Patriarch, is this the Empress's summons? The Fire Cloud Sparrow clan elders revealed excited expressions. Feng Yun solemnly nodded his head. The Empress's call. Their Fire Cloud personal guards had returned. Chapter 1727. 1727 under the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Citizens of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, let's set off. In front of the weapon peak, there were over 10 million citizens of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan as well as people from the two forces that relied on the Fire Cloud Sparrow. Everyone brought along all of the Fire Cloud Sparrow's belongings and stood there in an orderly fashion. Over 10 million people, men, women, old and young, were densely packed together. Let's go. The weak entered the airship, while the strong flew in the air. Feng Yun used her powerful strength to build a fire cloud that floated in the air. Feng Lingtian also used his strength to form a hurricane that carried a large number of people. On the transcendental continent, the migration of tens of millions of people was not as difficult as one would imagine if the longevity experts were here. Feng Lingtian and Feng Yun used their domains and were able to bring 7 to 8 million people. The other 3 to 4 million people were also able to travel quickly under the leadership of the insightful Void Realm experts and airships. However, the migration of more than 10 million people still belonged to a huge race. Where are we going? Why are all of us migrating? I don't know. This is the Elder Ancestor's order. Moreover, that expert who came today seems to be an emissary of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Let's not talk about it. Just listen to the Patriarch's order. Except for the higher-ups of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, the others didn't know the purpose of their trip. The group of people flew toward the extraordinary sea in a mighty way. Why did the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan migrate all of them? And who is that powerhouse? At this moment, at a secret location beside the weapon peak, a few sneaky figures looked at the migrating Fire Cloud Sparrow clan with a surprised expression. Immediately report to the Patriarch. In the past 10 years, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan has been somewhat strange, as if they are hiding something. An old man in the middle frowned and immediately said. The others nodded in agreement. They were sent by the Sacred Fire clan to monitor the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. Ever since the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan killed 2,000 disciples of the Sacred Fire clan, the enmity between the two clans had been formed. The Sacred Fire clan had used the Phoenix dynasty to seize the Fire Cloud Sparrow mountain range, and the relationship between the two clans could be considered to have been completely torn apart. The Sacred Fire clan had also raised their vigilance towards the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. The main purpose of sending people over was to find that terrifying assassin organization. During the battle between the Fire Cloud Sparrow and the two great forces, they still remembered that a terrifying assassin organization had assassinated millions of people overnight. However, they hadn't found any trace of that assassin organization in the past 2 years. Senior brother, should we continue to follow them? A person next to him asked the old man in the middle. No need. With our strength, we'll be easily discovered. The old man shook his head and immediately passed the news to the higher-ups of the clan. The Sacred Fire clan paid great attention to the migration of the entire Fire Cloud Sparrow clan and the sudden appearance of a longevity expert. More than 10 million clan members have been relocated? What is the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan doing? When the Sacred Fire clan's news reached the Sacred Fire Patriarch, she revealed a thoughtful expression. Patriarch, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan has been very strange recently. They dare to clash head-on with the Life and Death Pill Workshop and the Holy Item Forging Workshop just because of some trivial matters. The assassin organization that suddenly appeared to help them, that mysterious youth, and we discovered that the relationship between the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan and the Nine God Empire isn't as good as we imagined. The Sacred Fire clan elder in front frowned. I have a feeling that they are hiding something. The Sacred Fire clan elder nodded slowly. Then, Elder, what about us now? The Sacred Fire clan elder looked over in puzzlement. The masked assassin that we planted in the Fire Young clan has not been discovered, right? The Sacred Fire clan elder asked indifferently. No. Sacred Flame Patriarch shook his head. Just send someone to pay attention to the direction of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. There's no need to ask anything else. Sacred Flame Patriarch said indifferently. It's Patriarch. The Patriarch nodded respectfully and retreated. Feng Yun, what the hell have you been up to recently? Sacred Flame Patriarch muttered softly. Feng Ling Tian and the members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow race rushed towards the vast region. Due to the migration of more than 10 million people, it would take them at least 10 days to arrive, even if they were to be carried by 2 longevity experts. However, when they were about to arrive, Xiao Lan would come over to welcome them, reducing their journey by 4 to 5 days. As they rushed towards the vast region, the other 4 longevity experts from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire also arrived at the various empires. When all the empires and powerful experts learned that an empire was about to be established in the vast region, shock appeared on their faces. For an empire to be established, one had to have at least 7 or 8 longevity experts. Furthermore, the emperor's strength had to be at least at the 3rd or 4th stage of the longevity realm. Only then would one have the strength to be called an empire. However, when they saw the confident expression on the Dragon Phoenix Empire's envoy's face, their hearts trembled slightly. A new empire, the 6th great empire on the transcendental continent, many factions naturally had to go there to understand it. Even the 5 great empires had promised to attend the ceremony on the spot. This was because they had to understand the empire that had suddenly appeared. The name of the Dragon Phoenix Empire instantly entered the eyes of all the powerful factions on the transcendental continent. Patriarch, Emperor Phoenix wants you to come into the palace. A day later, a clan elder of the Sacred Fire clan reported to Patriarch Sacred Fire. Oh, what's the matter, Emperor Phoenix? Patriarch Sacred Fire stood up with a trace of curiosity on his face. Her figure moved and she instantly rushed toward the imperial capital of the Phoenix Empire. When she entered the Phoenix Palace, she found that other than her, 16 other figures had already arrived. Emperor Phoenix, who was covered in flames, sat on the main seat. Sacred Flame, take a seat. I called you all here today because there's nothing else. There's a Dragon and Phoenix Empire in the vast region that has announced the establishment of an empire. They've invited us over to watch the ceremony. Which one of you will go and take a look? A steady voice came out from Emperor Phoenix's mouth, which was covered in flames. Empire? The 6th largest empire in the continent? There's actually a faction in the vast region that has established an empire. Could it be that the ruins of the divine kingdom over there have been taken over? The 17 people were slightly taken aback as astonishment appeared on their faces. The establishment of an empire was a sensational matter for the entire transcendental continent. Vast region? Dragon Phoenix Empire? Sacred Flame Patriarch fell into deep thought when he heard the news. Emperor Phoenix, have you received any news about the Fire Cloud Sparrow tribe's migration of tens of millions of people to the vast region? The sacred flame ancestor suddenly asked Emperor Phoenix. Oh, when did the migration of tens of millions of people from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan happen? The figure shrouded in flames replied curiously. It was obvious that he did not know about it. I only found out about their migration to the vast region this morning. Now, I hear that an empire has been established in the vast region. Isn't this a little too much of a coincidence? The eyes of the sacred flame patriarch flickered as he spoke. Chapter 1728. 1728. The identity of the Fire Cloud Empress was revealed. In the past, the sacred Fire clan of the Phoenix dynasty didn't pay much attention to the Fire Cloud Sparrow clans. After all, for more than 1,800 years, the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan had been living in seclusion and didn't have any contact with the outside world. They didn't pay much attention to the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan until 10 years ago when they entered the human realm. But after their war with the two great powers and killing the experts of the Sacred Fire clan, it attracted some attention. Especially the Sacred Fire clan, they were still brooding over this. Oh, then get people to pay attention to the Sacred Fire clan. This time, for the matter of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, the Sacred Fire clan, you can go. The flame-shrouded Emperor Phoenix said indifferently. It's Emperor Phoenix. Sacred Flame Patriarch nodded and looked at another old woman. Tianyan, come with me. Okay, hee. Tianyan, another longevity expert of the Phoenix dynasty, smiled and nodded indifferently. Leave. Emperor Phoenix, who was shrouded in flames, said and disappeared instantly. Our Emperor Phoenix's strength is getting stronger and stronger. When the sacred flames saw the flames dissipate, he revealed a faint smile. Oh my God, what a terrifying behemoth. It's actually more than 20,000 meters in size. Isn't this too terrifying? Hiss, what behemoth is this? When did our transcendent continent have such a terrifying behemoth? And at that moment, at the boundary between the transcendent sea and the desolate sea, a behemoth was suspended in the sky. All the members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan were shocked when they saw the giant beast. A giant beast that was 20,000 meters in size was like a giant beast in space. All the members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan stared at it in shock. Among the 10 million Fire Cloud Sparrow clan members, there were a few others who were shocked. Sister-in-law Lan Qingyue. Feng Lingtian saw little Lan and immediately shouted with a smile. Sister Feng Wan asked me to come and pick you up. Lan Qingyue nodded at Feng Yun and the others with a smile. Miss Lan, thank you so much. Feng Yun also glanced at Lan Qingyue and little Lan under her in shock with a smile on her face. It was her first time seeing Lan Qingyue and she knew that this was young Master Wang's wife. If you have anything to say, let's talk about it when we get back. Lan Qingyue smiled. Let the members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan come up. It's Miss Lan. Feng Yun nodded, and immediately let the members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan come up to little Lan's body. Heavens, this giant beast's longevity realm expert. That senior Lan who spoke to our ancestor just now should also be in the longevity realm. Where exactly are we going? The Fire Cloud Sparrow race members were filled with shock. In particular, some people noticed a word, Sister Feng Wan. Everyone knew what was unexpected about the word Feng Wan. Some of the Fire Cloud Sparrow race experts' eyes flickered with light as they faintly guessed something. Feng Wan, isn't that the former number 1 great empress of the eternal world? The tens of millions of people muttered as their eyes flickered. With Lan Qingyue coming over to welcome them and Little Blue around, their speed increased by a lot. The journey that originally required 17 to 18 days was now shortened to 12 to 13 days. The vast region was getting closer and closer, and the Divine Kingdom ruins were also getting closer and closer. There are still about 100 kilometers left. On the 13th day, Feng Lingtian said to Feng Yun and the others. Who? Feng Yun stood on Little Blue's body and looked ahead. Her breathing was slightly hurried. Her eyes were filled with excitement. They were getting closer and closer to the Divine Kingdom ruins. The elders of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan all came to Patriarch Feng Yun's back. They stood quietly behind and looked ahead. Oh, what are Patriarch and the others doing? The Fire Cloud Sparrow clan looked at Patriarch Feng Yun and the elders with a surprised expression. The ruins of the Divine Kingdom appeared in their line of sight. At this moment, the ruins of the Divine Kingdom could already be called the imperial capital of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Sister Feng Wan has already prepared the place where you will be staying. Lan Qingyue said to Feng Yun and the others as she led them towards a location in the imperial capital. There, an area of 100 kilometers had already been cleared out, which was prepared for the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. In the sky above that place, a figure was quietly floating. A fiery red phoenix robe, wearing a veil, and an incomparably noble figure. Ma, Empress. Seeing this scene, Feng Yun could not help but burst into tears, tears flowing down her face. The elders' faces were also filled with excitement. Everyone from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan looked at the abnormal ancestor with shock on their faces. Everyone, come down. A cold voice came from the Fire Cloud Queen's mouth. Over 10 million people from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan came down from Little Blue's body with stunned expressions. They floated in the sky. There were old people and children. Many children were still in their swaddling clothes. More than 10 million people stood in front of Feng Wan. Many of them were filled with confusion. Feng Yun, bring all the Fire Cloud Sparrow clansmen to pay respects to the Empress. The Fire Cloud Personal Guard has returned. We respectfully welcome the Empress's return. We pledge our loyalty to the Empress to the death. Feng Yun knelt in the air with tears on her face. Her body trembled as she bowed to Feng Wan. You have been quiet for more than 1,000 years. Only Hui Yun is here. Feng Wan slowly took off her veil and her eyes flickered as she looked at everyone from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. When the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan heard the ancestor's words, they saw the ancestor kneel down. When they saw Feng Wan take off her veil and reveal that face that left a deep impression on them, everyone from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan felt as if their minds had exploded. Female Empress. Everyone's bodies trembled as they stared blankly at the figure in front of them. The Empress has returned. Our Fire Cloud Sparrow race will pledge our loyalty to her to the death. Where the Fire Cloud Personal Guards? The Fire Cloud Queen roared in excitement. As soon as she finished speaking, she directly knelt in the air. The Fire Cloud Personal Guards are here. They will pledge their loyalty to the Empress to the death. All the Fire Cloud Sparrow people were filled with excitement when they saw this scene. Some of the middle-aged and old men who had fought alongside the Empress during the era of the Empress were so excited that they even shed tears. They directly half-knelt on the ground and looked in Feng Wan's direction as they shouted at the top of their lungs. The Fire Cloud Personal Guards are here and swear to be loyal to the Great Empress to the death. Over 10 million people knelt in the air and shouted at the top of their lungs. If it wasn't for the barrier of the array formation, their voices would definitely have spread over tens of thousands of kilometers. It's been hard on all of you. I'm back. Feng Wan also said with an excited expression. She slowly walked to Feng Yun's side and helped her up. In the future, we will continue to conquer the world. Feng Wan looked at her closest subordinate and gently wiped her tears. The Empress is here. Our Fire Cloud Personal Guards are here. Feng Yun said solemnly. Behind them, everyone from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan was filled with tears. They never expected that the Empress was actually still alive. The Empress who single-handedly saved their Fire Cloud Sparrow clan from danger. The Empress who made their Fire Lark clan stand at the peak of the continent. The Empress whom their Fire Lark clan swore to follow to the death. She's back. Chapter 1729. 1729 Fire Cloud 1729's identity as the Empress was revealed. Let's go home. Feng Yuan said to Feng Yuan and everyone else from the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. Her body moved and she flew down. Feng Yun and the other members of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan immediately followed and flew down. Everyone's eyes were burning with excitement as they stared at the Empress's figure. 10 years ago, the Empress had already returned. However, due to some special reasons, the Empress cannot reveal her identity. During these 10 years, the Empress has been gathering her strength. Our Fire Cloud Sparrow clan has also been secretly assisting the Empress. It was only until today that we were able to meet the Empress openly. A clan elder's voice entered everyone's ears. The Empress only returned 10 years ago. Why can't the Empress reveal her identity? More than 1,800 years ago, the current Empress Feng announced the Empress's death. Is it? Some of the Fire Lark clan's experts guessed with faces full of anger. That's right. Our Empress must have been harmed by a treacherous person at that time. Damn it. Now, our Empress has established the Dragon Phoenix Empire. On the continent, there are only 2 Empress who are our Empress. Some of the clansmen were furious, while others were happy. Among the tens of millions of people, there were some who revealed shocked expressions. Their eyes were filled with incredulity. The great Empress, who had been around for more than 1,800 years, had returned. And she had established another empire. This was simply inconceivable to the entire Transcendence continent. Especially to the Phoenix dynasty. Their eyes flashed with light. If this news was sold to the Phoenix dynasty and the Sacred Fire clan, they would definitely be able to obtain a terrifying price. The news of the arrival of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan was sealed in the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Therefore, other than the generals and ministers, no one else knew of the arrival of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan. After settling the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, the Fire Cloud personal guards had completely returned. The Dragon Phoenix Empire's personal guards were quietly established. The entire Fire Cloud Sparrow clan was bustling with excitement. However, on the second day, a few figures quietly left and quickly flew towards the central continent region. Feng Yuan didn't know that the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan had a mole or a masked assassin organization. However, even if she knew, she wouldn't take it to heart. Currently, there were only a dozen or so days before the Dragon Phoenix Empire was established. In these dozen or so days, the other forces wouldn't be able to find anything. Moreover, on the day of the founding of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, she would officially announce that she, Feng Yuan, had returned. The masked assassins group also knew that time was extremely tight, so they desperately flew towards the central continent region. The day of the founding of the Dragon Phoenix Empire was getting closer and closer, and the surroundings of the entire imperial capital were becoming more and more lively. Almost all the powerful people from the entire vast region had arrived, and some of the powerful families and sects from the Luhai region had also rushed over. When there were still 9 days left until the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, the masked assassins finally arrived at the central continent region, exhausted. What? This is impossible. This is impossible. When the news was transmitted to the Sacred Flame clan, the Sacred Flame Patriarch suddenly stood up. Her face revealed a savage and incredulous expression. She roared loudly, her body trembling. When she heard this news, she couldn't believe it at all. But when she thought of the recent abnormal behavior of the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan, her heart became even more terrified. Their empress was actually still alive. Moreover, she had even established a Dragon Phoenix Empire. Her first reaction wasn't excitement, but fear. That's right, fear. She knew how the empress had fallen. Patriarch, Emperor Feng wants you to rush over immediately. At this moment, the voice of a clan elder came from outside. Buzz. The Sacred Flame Patriarch didn't dare to stay any longer and instantly teleported towards the imperial capital. She even hastily teleported into the imperial study. When her figure arrived at the imperial study, she discovered that 16 figures were already seated inside. Their faces were all extremely embarrassed. In the center, Emperor Phoenix, who was enveloped in flames. The flames around him were constantly trembling. Boom! All of a sudden, the flames around Emperor Phoenix dissipated. All of you beloved ministers have arrived. At the very front of the Phoenix Palace, a middle-aged man with a beard instantly appeared on the dragon throne. A hoarse voice came from his mouth. He had a pair of fiery red eyes. At the spot between his brows, an irritable fire phoenix was dancing. His entire person was like a flame that was about to explode. Other than the sacred flame ancestor, the other 16 figures had puzzled expressions on their faces. They had not seen the Phoenix Emperor in such an angry manner for a long time. How can this be? Phoenix Emperor, how can she still be alive? How can she still be alive? At this moment, the sacred flame ancestor who was filled with anxiety shouted out in excitement and fear. Seeing her lose her composure, the other 16 figures also looked over in shock. How do I know? How do I know that she's still alive? She was clearly killed by me, why would she suddenly appear again? Feng Luan. Emperor Feng roared with a ferocious expression as his palm heavily landed on the chair. The indestructible dragon chair was directly broken into half. What? The Empress is still alive? How is this possible? In the imperial study, the other 16 figures trembled as shock appeared on their faces. Their expressions began to change drastically. Emperor Feng, you killed the Empress back then. Now, the Empress will definitely come for revenge. The Empress dared to establish an empire once again. This means that she has already reached the peak. If Emperor Feng is unable to resolve this, an elder said in a low voice with an abnormally ugly expression. Shut up. Before he could finish his words, Emperor Feng stood up and roared ferociously. When she was still in power, she said that the emperor broke the law and committed the same crime as the common people. Even a bunch of old people like you who followed her didn't have much privileges. Now look at your own family. Think about the past 1,000 years. These were all given to you by me. What? Are you going to submit to your great empress now? Feng Wan's appearance made him lose control of his expression. The 17 figures were silent. Their expressions kept changing. There is no more great empress in this world, and it is impossible for there to be another great empress. Sacred Flame Ancestor said with a twisted expression. Flames danced on his body. You have to know that Feng Luan's parents and other relatives were all secretly dealt with by you. Now, none of you can think of getting rid of them. Either she dies, or all of you die. Emperor Feng stood up and glanced at all of them with an abnormally sinister expression. Everyone's figures trembled. Although they had dealt with Feng Luan's family in the dark under Emperor Feng's threat, they were still the ones who had done it. However, this was after all done by them. They knew that with the Empress's personality, she would definitely not let them off. The sacred flame is right. There is no longer an empress in the world, and it is impossible for there to be another empress. Everyone looked at each other and said coldly. Chapter 1730. 1730. The 1730 continent's forces gathered. We don't need to be too afraid. No matter how powerful Feng Luan is, even if she used more than 1,000 years to establish an empire, she is definitely not a match for us. Moreover, with Emperor Feng's current strength, we don't need to be afraid at all. The Emperor Master of the Feng dynasty said indifferently to everyone. That's right, we can use the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire to investigate her forces. After we understand in detail, we can act again. The eyes of the other white-clothed elder flashed with brilliance. No, this emperor can't wait that long. Moreover, we absolutely can't let the other people of the Phoenix dynasty know that she's still alive. During the establishment ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire this time, this emperor will annihilate them all, not leaving a single one alive. Emperor Feng's expression was ice-cold as he roared in a low voice. The moment he learned that Feng Luan was still alive, he had already decided to kill her as soon as possible. He couldn't let the people of the Feng dynasty know that Feng Luan was still alive. He couldn't let her continue to develop. The Feng dynasty was built by that woman alone. If the entire empire knew that their empress was still alive, if they knew the truth, who knew how many legions would submit to that woman? And who knew how many people would directly submit to the Dragon Phoenix Empire? The #1 empress of all time, her magnificence was unmatched in the generations. Even he himself was stunned. In fact, the moment he heard the news, he was a little afraid. However, after stabilizing his emotions, he was full of confidence in killing the former empress. In fact, he was 100% confident. Emperor Phoenix, aren't we too anxious to attack during the ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire's establishment? There are only 8 days left until the ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. After we arrive there, the ceremony has basically begun. Right now, we know nothing about Feng Luan's strength and influence. If we act rashly, there will be a great risk. The Emperor of the Phoenix dynasty immediately said with a frown. Risk? If we can't destroy her even if we mobilize all our forces this time, then we'll just wait to be destroyed. Emperor Feng said coldly, the corners of his mouth curling up slightly as he said confidently, however, this time, we won't lose. Everyone looked at Emperor Feng with some surprise. Bring all the experts in your clan with you. We'll set off tomorrow. Hee, Dragon Phoenix Empire? This time, I'll let you all be destroyed on the day you establish it. Emperor Feng said proudly. It's Emperor Feng. The 17 people were a bit surprised, but seeing the confident Emperor Feng, they felt much more relaxed. They bowed and immediately left to prepare for the next thing. Feng Luan, oh Feng Luan, how could I dare to attack you with my courage and strength back then? Not only do I want to obtain your bloodline, but I also want them. This may be something you never thought of. Emperor Phoenix muttered as he sat there, his eyes revealing an ice-cold expression. He was filled with confidence in destroying that woman. 9 Heavens demonic bird, lord of all demons. I don't know if our luck is good or bad. Time slowly passed, and it was getting closer and closer to the founding ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. The empires from the central continent, as well as the various major powers from the other regions, all arrived at the vast region one by one. In the sky above the entire Dragon and Phoenix Empire, all kinds of demonic beasts were running around. There were also a few figures of longevity experts who were rarely seen in the vast region. The powers from the entire Transcendence continent are gathering. In order to prevent any accidents or disputes, I will send the Dragon Guard, Long Ci, and the others to monitor the surroundings. In the center of the imperial capital, there were still 3 days before the founding ceremony of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. At this time, Wang Xian had also rushed over. The founding of the empire was a major event. With the gathering of all the powers in the Transcendence continent, the Dragon Phoenix Empire had to display the splendor of the empire. And with the current strength of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, it was not enough to intimidate the other powers. Therefore, Wang Xian called the Golden Swordfish Dragon Guards over. In addition, the Dragon Spur Division was hidden in every corner of the imperial capital to prevent accidents from happening. 1,500 Dragon Guards, 1,004th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, 405th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, 56th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, 37th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, 28th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, 9th level Insightful Void Martial Artists, and AO Jian 1 Show 1 level. Their strength was 1 level higher than their own level. Therefore, the lowest strength of these 1,500 Dragon Guards was 5th level Insightful Void Martial Artists. In the Empire, they were definitely a core army. As for the Dragon Spur Division, which was hidden in the dark, their strength was even more terrifying. The weakest of them had the strength to assassinate a level 6 of the Void Interpretation stage. All right, little Xian. Feng Wan did not show any courtesy to Wang Xian. She nodded her head and said, "Now that the preparations for the ceremony are basically ready, you should go on stage too." "Me? I think I'd better forget about it. I still want to travel around the continent as the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace when the Dragon Palace stands tall on the continent in the future." Wang Xian shook his head and refused with a smile. "Then we'll go up if you don't go up." "Hee hee, the elders of the Sixth Empire on the continent are all goddesses. And they're all very powerful, beautiful girls." Guan Shuqing, Xiao Yu, and the other girls were very enthusiastic and excited. Now, including Xiao Yu and the other 9 girls, apart from Lan Qingyue who had reached the first level of the see-through void tier, the rest were all at the half-step longevity realm. If they were to really fight, the 8 of them, who had the bloodline talent, would be able to fight against the longevity powerhouses. If the Dragon and Phoenix Empire were to include the 9 girls and Xiaolan, they would be able to match the strength of the 9 God Empire. "As you wish. I'll just watch from below," Wang Xian said with a smile. Reporting to the Empress, a group of powerhouses from the 9 God Empire is about to arrive. The 9 God Emperor is here personally. At this moment, a soldier came in to report. "Oh, the 9 Gods Emperor is here personally?" Feng Wan looked at Wang Xian. She knew that this 9 Gods Empire had a deep relationship with Wang Xian. "Just ask them to come over directly," Wang Xian said directly to the soldier who came in. "Oh, Lord Wang." That soldier was slightly stunned. The 9 Gods Emperor was here personally. If the Empress didn't go out to welcome him. "I'll go," Feng Lingtian, who was standing at the side, said as he walked out. Wang Xian nodded. "Look, that's the legendary empire on the continent, the 9 Gods Empire. It's an empire founded by the legendary 9 gods. Oh my god, the Emperor of the 9 gods has come personally. It's a great honor for our Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Look at the demonic beasts that brought the Emperor of the 9 gods here. They are all at the half-step longevity realm. What a terrifying aura. This is the legendary empire." At this moment, outside the imperial capital of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, some of the citizens were shocked when they saw the grand and luxurious team of the 9 God Empire. This was the first powerful empire that came. Chapter 1731. 1731. Under the gathering of the 1731 continent's forces. The 9 God Empire had sent over 10,000 people, and the group was extremely huge. Moreover, all of them were the 9 God Empire's top experts. Since his boss had established an empire, he, Mo Sha, naturally had to set up the scene. Other than him, he had brought 6 longevity experts, and the remaining 10,000 people were all existences above the 3rd level of the profound void tier. The huge team had a terrifying aura. Even if they were dozens of kilometers apart, they still had the urge to make people worship them. Hundreds of millions of people in the imperial capital and the surrounding area looked at them with reverence. "We welcome the 9 God Emperor Lord and everyone from the 9 God Empire to come. Please come in." Feng Lingtian flew over, cupped his hands toward Mo Sha and the others, and said, "Oh, our 9 God Emperor Lord personally. All right, little friend Feng, lead the way." When the 9 God Empire's Golden God Tribe's longevity expert saw that it was only a longevity expert who came out to welcome them, his expression sank as he coldly shouted. However, before he could speak, Mo Sha, who was sitting in the luxurious pride, immediately interrupted him. Mo Sha did not dare to put on airs in his boss's territory. "Everyone please." Feng Lingtian led them to the seats specially prepared for the 5 empires. Mo Sha. After entering the imperial capital, Wang Xian, Feng Wan, and the rest walked out of the palace and shouted at Mo Sha and the rest who were walking towards them. "Boss, Kiki boss, Mo Sha, have really missed you to death." When Mo Sha saw Wang Xian, he immediately came out from Di Jiao's palace with an exaggerated expression and walked over quickly. "Oh, The longevity experts of the Nine God Empire who came with Mo Sha had some understanding when they saw Wang Xian. No wonder their boss came personally and brought so many experts. Even if the Emperor of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire didn't come to welcome them, he wasn't angry at all. So, he was the boss of their emperor. Boss, this must be sister-in-law. Wow, sister-in-law is so beautiful. She is indeed the second empress of the continent. Her beauty has shaken the world. Mo Sha walked over and saw Feng Yuan beside Wang Xian. From her body, Mo Sha could feel a powerful force. Coupled with her luxurious phoenix robe, he immediately treated her as his boss's old lover. He said with a fawning expression. As soon as he said that, Feng Yuan's smiling face immediately stiffened. Guan Shuqing and the other girls at the side stared at him with murderous intent. Mo Sha sensed that the atmosphere was not right. His gaze suddenly swept over Ling Jian and Lan Qingyue as he pursed his lips. He had seen Ling Jian and Lan Qingyue before. These two could definitely be the boss's lovers. Cough cough, you guys can leave first. Mo Sha felt as though he had said something wrong. He immediately waved at his subordinates behind him and changed the topic. The experts from the Nine God Empire walked to the side under Feng Lingtian's lead. Mo Sha, let me introduce you to Feng Yuan, the future empress of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Wang Xian smiled and introduced her to Mo Sha. Oh! Mo Sha nodded immediately. Feng Yuan? What a familiar name. It's the same name as the #1 empress of all time. It's me. Feng Yuan took off her veil when she saw Mo Sha's funny look and looked at him mockingly. Empress Feng, the #1 empress of the continent, the #1 lady of the transcendent continent. When Mo Sha saw Feng Yuan's face, he was shocked. This time he was truly shocked. Let's go in and talk. Wang Xian patted Mo Sha's shoulder and walked into the imperial study room. Yes, yes. Mo Sha nodded and couldn't help but size up Feng Yuan. His eyes were filled with shocks. The #1 lady in the Transcendence continent. She was an expert whom he had to look up to at that time. If he did not obtain a great opportunity from his boss, he would not be from the same world as her. Wang Xian called Mo Sha over. There were some things that he needed to discuss with him. The day of the founding ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire was also the day Feng Yuan returned. At that time, the Phoenix Empire would be the enemy of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. The two empires would definitely fight, and the Nine God Empire would be extremely important. It was possible that the Dragon Palace wouldn't need to make a move to destroy the Phoenix dynasty. The people from the Aoshan Empire have arrived. It's the Aoshan Empire, but compared to the Nine God Empire, there aren't many of them. The Human Dragon Empire is the strongest empire on the continent, the Human Dragon Empire. They have the bloodline of the dragon race. Oh my God! They are people from the World Trading Company. The World Trading Company is the largest trading company on the transcendental continent. I heard that their trading company has 2 longevity experts. Oh my God, all the major factions have arrived one after another. Our Dragon Phoenix Empire is so proud. I look forward to the Empire's grand ceremony in 2 days. On the second day of the Nine God Empire's arrival, all the powerful factions arrived one after another. The Aoshan Empire, the Draconid Empire, and the World Trading Company followed closely behind. The factions with longevity-level experts from other regions also arrived one after another. However, the Aoshan Empire and the Draconid Empire only sent over 1,000 people, each with a longevity-level expert. The Phoenix Dynasty's people have also arrived. There are so many of them. The Phoenix Dynasty, this is an empire established by the continent's #1 empress, the Eternal Empress. Our Dragon Phoenix Empress is not inferior to the former empress of the Phoenix Dynasty. In the evening, the Phoenix Dynasty's team rushed over in a grand manner. All the citizens and experts in the imperial capital looked into the distance when they saw their arrival and discussed among themselves. Compared to the Aoshan Empire and the Draconid Empire, The Phoenix dynasty had 5,000 to 6,000 people, all of whom were top-notch experts. The Phoenix Empire's sacred flame patriarch and the Emperor's master led the team. The position in front used to be the ruins of the divine kingdom in the vast region. I didn't expect it to be controlled by her. The sacred flame patriarch squinted his eyes and scanned the area in front of him as he said coldly, "As expected of the divine kingdom that is close to being created by a god. The array formation inside is very terrifying. If she really hides inside, we really won't be able to do anything about it. The day the empire is established is indeed the best time to attack. However, we still don't know her strength and influence. We also don't know why Emperor Phoenix is so confident." Emperor Phoenix's eyes flashed as he glanced around and said softly. Emperor Phoenix was preparing to make a move at the founding ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire in order to avoid any long delays. However, they didn't know anything about that woman's influence. They also didn't know what strategy Emperor Phoenix had. "We don't need to worry about this. We'll know when the day comes. I really don't believe that our Phoenix Empire's current strength can't destroy that woman," Sacred Flame Patriarch said with a frown. "Everyone from the Phoenix Empire, thank you for coming. Our great Empress is busy with things, so we're here to welcome you." At this moment, the 4 longevity experts from the Dragon Phoenix Empire flew over and greeted them. "It's all right, lead the way." Sacred Flame Ancestor and Emperor Master glanced at the 4 of them and exchanged a glance. The 2 of them took the lead to come over. In the depths of the Sea of Desolation, all the powers of the 17 strongest families of the Phoenix Empire and Emperor Phoenix were gathered there. The day the Dragon Phoenix Empire was established was the day they died. They were completely annihilated. Chapter 1732. 1732 in my name. Empress, the people of the Phoenix dynasty are here. The leader is the patriarch of the Sacred Fire clan and the Emperor's teacher of the Phoenix dynasty. When the Phoenix dynasty arrived, the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty immediately passed the news to Feng Yuan, the Sacred Fire clan and the Emperor's teacher. When Feng Yuan heard the names of these 2 people, a trace of coldness appeared in her eyes. In the past, our Fire Cloud Sparrow clan didn't appear in the world. We didn't know much about the Phoenix dynasty. 10 years ago, when we came into the world, we discovered that the Phoenix dynasty was already in a mess. Feng Yun sighed at the side and her expression was a little ugly. If the Empress is able to return, the people of the Phoenix dynasty will definitely be very happy. That day will be soon. Feng Yuan's eyes flickered. When she became the Empress of the Phoenix dynasty, the entire empire was the most cautious of the 5 great empires. The longevity experts and the families of the longevity experts didn't have any special privileges other than having a huge amount of resources. During her reign, the entire Phoenix dynasty was flourishing and there were many talented geniuses. Many peerless geniuses and geniuses didn't all come from the descendants and families of the longevity experts. The Phoenix dynasty had its own nurturing system. As long as one had the ability, the resources they had wouldn't be inferior to those disciples with powerful backgrounds. This made the Phoenix dynasty prosperous, but it also made the founding ministers of the Phoenix dynasty slightly dissatisfied. However, they didn't dare to say anything because everything they had was given to them by the Empress. After the current Emperor Feng killed the Empress, he forced all the longevity experts to belong to him and promised a large number of benefits. For more than 1,800 years, every longevity expert had an incomparably huge family clan. The strength of the 17 families occupied 70% of the Phoenix dynasty's power, and their resources were almost monopolized. As such, the citizens of the Phoenix dynasty were naturally dissatisfied. However, how could the ordinary citizens fight against them? They could only submit. This was also why when all the powerhouses of the Phoenix dynasty knew that the Empress was still alive, not only were they not happy, they were also a little fearful. Buzz buzz. At this moment, Wang Xian felt the communication stone plate in his interspatial ring vibrate. He was slightly stunned. When he saw the contents on it, his pupils constricted slightly and flickered with a luster. "What's wrong, Xiao Xian?" Guan Shuqing, who was at the side, looked at him and asked curiously. "It's nothing. I'll return to the Dragon Palace first." Wang Xian smiled and shook his head as he spoke to the group of girls. "Why are you returning to the Dragon Palace?" The few girls looked at him with puzzlement on their faces. It's nothing." Wang Xian shook his head, moved his body and disappeared. The group of girls curled their lips and joined in the discussion about the Phoenix dynasty. Whoosh! After continuous teleportation, Wang Xian arrived at the Dragon Palace in no time. "Prime Minister Gui, what's wrong?" Wang Xian came to the Dragon King's palace and asked Prime Minister Gui directly. "Dragon King, not long ago, the detection ability of the Dragon Palace sent a warning message. Deep in our barren sea, there was a powerful energy fluctuation. I sent the Yaksha to investigate and discovered this scene." Prime Minister Gui said as he waved his arm. A Yaksha's perspective appeared in front of Wang Xian and the rest. This was the ability of the Level 5 Dragon Palace, Detection. One could see the perspective of the members of the Dragon Palace. I didn't expect them to discover it. Wang Xian looked at the scene on the screen, and his eyes sparkled. In the screen, a group of 500,000 people gathered in the sky above the depths of the Sea of Desolation. Beside the 500,000 people, a flag was fluttering. It was the flag of the Phoenix dynasty. As the Yaksha was afraid of being discovered, they were very far away and couldn't see the specific people clearly. Feng Yuan's identity should have been exposed. It's just that I didn't expect the Phoenix Empire to use the entire empire's strength to destroy Feng Yuan. Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he saw this scene. However, it's not certain who will be destroyed. The corner of Wang Xian's mouth curled up slightly. The Phoenix Empire might not know that the Nine Gods Empire was already on Feng Yuan's side in such a short period of time. If they were to really fight, they would be able to destroy the Phoenix Empire without the Dragon Palace's help. That is. However, at this moment, a scene that shocked Wang Xian appeared in front of him. At the back of the barren sea, another terrifying team flew over in a mighty manner. Ferocious beasts roared and the beasts galloped. The leader was an incomparably huge demonic bird. The demonic bird had a green wing and a fiery red wing. The two gigantic wings were about 1,000 meters in size. Even through the surveillance footage of the Dragon Palace, one could still sense that the demonic bird was extraordinary. Behind this demonic bird, there were hundreds of thousands of demonic beasts following behind it. Other than the dragon race, the only one who could mobilize so many demonic beasts was the 10,000 Demon Empire. And this was obviously not the dragon race. The Nine Heavens demonic bird, the emperor of the 10,000 Demon Empire. Why do they have so many subordinates? Wang Xian had a serious look on his face. The 10,000 Fei Empire was not simple. Among the 5 great empires, their strength was second only to the Draconid Empire's Ao Shan Empire. The Nine Heavens demon bird possessed both wood and fire attributes. It was recognized as a heaven and earth mutated species in the entire transcendental continent. It possessed the strength of level 6 longevity. It was said that it could fight against dragons of the same level. Other than that, the 10,000 Fei Empire had more than 20 longevity level demon emperors. In Wang Xian's vision, the Nine Heavens demon bird of the 10,000 Fei Empire transformed into a man with wings. He was conversing with a middle-aged man whose entire body was covered in flames. The entire conversation took about 5 minutes. Following that, a portion of the demon beasts flew towards the imperial capital of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Most of them flew towards the edge of the forest of the Divine Kingdom under the leadership of the Nine Heavens demonic bird emperor. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. With a move, he disappeared from the Dragon Palace and teleported towards the direction of the Empire of 10,000 Demons. He activated his yin-yang and 5 elements dragon eyes. 5 minutes later, Wang Xian saw the 9 heavens demonic bird emperor leading his subordinates, 22 longevity experts and hundreds of thousands of demonic beasts hiding at the edge of the forest of the divine kingdom. He turned his head and looked at the depths of the barren sea on the right. His eyes revealed a glimmer of light. How did the 10,000 demon empire join forces with the Phoenix dynasty? Furthermore, the emperor of the 10,000 demon empire, the emperor of the 9 heavens demon bird, personally led over 20 longevity experts here. It's almost the entire strength of the empire. Wang Xian mumbled. The grand ceremony of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire this time had somewhat exceeded his expectations. In this case, 2 empires are involved. Including the 9 gods empire, there are 3 of them. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled. Since that's the case, let's fight. The Dragon Palace can only become stronger and stronger during the war. Since the Heavenly Dragon and Phoenix Empire is announced to be established, let's announce something after the Phoenix Empire and the Empire of 10,000 demons arrive. That is, the Dragon Palace will step onto the stage of the mainland. In my name. Chapter 1733. 1733, the powerful Dragon and Phoenix Empire. On the day of the founding ceremony of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, things had completely exceeded Wang Xian's expectations. However, everything was still under his control. This made Wang Xian decide to let the Dragon Palace truly step onto the stage at the center of the extraordinary mainland, displaying all the powers of the Dragon Palace. He was looking forward to the moment when the Dragon Palace had nearly 20,000 insightful void martial arts practitioners and more than 20 longevity martial arts practitioners. He was looking forward to the impact it would bring to the entire mainland. When he thought of this, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Wang Xian's figure moved and flew directly toward the imperial capital. Night had already fallen in the vast region, but the entire imperial capital was filled with joy. The ruins of the divine kingdom had been transformed into an incomparably huge city. There were all kinds of shops inside, not much different from other cities. In the center was the palace, which was also where the future empress would be located. At night, the entire imperial city was still bustling with activity. There were experts from all the cities of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, as well as experts from all the clans in the Luhai region. In addition, there were disciples from all the other factions on the Transcendence continent. Other than the 5 empires, there were 20 to 30 other factions that came from the Transcendence continent. Each faction had at least 1,000 people. Among them, there were many experts and disciples from these factions who had just arrived at the imperial capital of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Naturally, they wanted to take a good look around. There were also quite a number of factions who were trying to find out about the actual strength of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. This made the entire imperial capital extremely lively. In the past 10 days, the entire imperial capital would probably be extremely lively. There would be no difference between day and night. When he arrived at the imperial city's palace, Wang Xian asked the Huiyun personal guards and walked towards the palace where Feng Luan was staying. Young Master Wang. At the entrance, Huiyun stood at the entrance with a smile on his face. When he saw Wang Xian, he greeted him respectfully. Are Feng Luan, Shu Qing, and the rest inside? Wang Xian asked directly. Young Master Wang, the Empress, Lan Qingyue, Guan Shuqing, and the other elders are inside to pick out the clothes they will be wearing tomorrow. Young Master Wang, it might not be suitable for you to enter now. Feng Yun said with a smile. Oh, is that so? Wang Xian was slightly taken aback. He smiled and said, I still have some questions to ask Feng Luan. Young Master Wang, if you are in a hurry, I will inform the Empress. Feng Yun said immediately. No need. By the way, Feng Yun, when Feng Luan was the Empress of the Feng dynasty, how was her relationship with the 10,000 Demons Empire? Wang Xian asked Feng Yun with a twinkle in his eyes. Oh, The relationship between our empress and the 10,000 Fey Empire? A hint of doubt appeared on Feng Yun's face. She immediately replied, speaking of which, their relationship wasn't good. There was once a demon emperor of the 10,000 Fey Empire who secretly controlled ferocious beasts to launch a ferocious beast siege on our Phoenix dynasty. At that time, the empress was so furious that she personally killed that demon emperor because there was some enmity between the 10,000 Fey Empire and this matter. However, the grudges were not huge. Later on, the Emperor of the Nine Heavens demonic bird came to the Phoenix Empire personally. He wanted to ask the Empress for some bloodlines, but the Empress did not agree to it. After that, they parted on bad terms. Feng Yun recalled and spoke to Wang Xian one by one. This made him somewhat enlightened. Young Master Wang, is there something going on? Feng Yun asked when he saw Wang Xian in deep thought. No. He shook his head and said, I'll take a stroll around the imperial capital first. Wang Xian did not tell Feng Yun about this matter. Instead, he walked toward the location outside. He wanted to investigate the Draconid Empire and the Aoshan Empire. There were already two empires that were about to take action. If there were more empires involved, the matter would be out of control. Therefore, he had to verify it. Wang Xian walked out and used his Yin-Yang 5 elemental dragon eyes to investigate the Aoshan Empire and the Draconid Empire. After monitoring them for more than an hour, he did not discover anything unusual about the two empires. This made him slightly relieved. That is? Just as he was about to leave, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly and saw a few familiar faces. Long Xiaotian, He Yuan, and He Suiqing were a group of more than 20 young men. Long Xiaotian and He Yuan could be considered as Wang Xian's only two good friends in the supernatural continent. However, due to the huge difference in status and the fact that Wang Xian had always stayed in the Dragon Palace, they had not interacted with each other for the past few years. Let's catch up. Wang Xian watched as they walked towards a restaurant and followed behind them with a smile on his face. Young Master He, I've already left you guys a private room. When they arrived at the entrance of the restaurant, the manager immediately came over to welcome them. The restaurant had been full for the past 10 days. However, this was nothing to He Yuan. Now, the He clan had completely submitted to the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. The patriarch of the He clan was also one of the only 5 longevity experts in the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. In addition, the entire vast region knew the identities of He Yuan and their Lord Wang. It was naturally easy for them to reserve a place in the restaurant. He Yuan was also the most dazzling heaven's favorite in the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Okay, thank you, boss. He Yuan nodded at the shopkeeper and smiled at Long Xiao. Sure, young Master He. Long Xiaotian gave him a thumbs up and said with a laugh. The shopkeeper led them into the restaurant. There's only one table left in the restaurant. Customers who want to taste the specialties of our Dragon and Phoenix Empire can come in. There's only one table. At this moment, a waiter walked out of the restaurant and shouted outside. Let's go, let's go. On the street, 5 or 6 young men immediately walked towards the restaurant. Waiter, we'll take that table. Okay, please come in. A few young men and women walked over with smiles on their faces. The waiter immediately bowed to welcome them. Wait, we'll take that table. However, at this moment, a cold voice shouted, causing the 6 young men and women and the waiter to be slightly stunned. They turned around and frowned slightly. 7 demonic beasts that were 2 meters tall and looked like ape men walked over directly. Their bodies carried an intense murderous aura. Dear guests, I'm sorry, the last table has already been reserved. The waiter hurriedly said. If I say we want it, then we want it. Scram. The ape man standing in the middle coldly swept his gaze across the 5 or 6 youths. Why should we give it to you? The 6 youths' expressions changed slightly, and they immediately said. Can't you see that we're honored guests? Scram, you trash of the vast region. The ape man in the middle waved his arm and a force shot towards the 6 young men and women. The powerful force caused them to fly backward. Bang, bang, bang. The 6 of them could not help but spit out blood. Their faces turned pale. However, Hiyuan and the others who had just walked to the entrance of the restaurant heard the sounds coming from behind. They immediately frowned and turned around to look. Wang Xian, who was walking towards them, was slightly stunned when he saw this scene. A cold glint flashed across his eyes. He was deliberately looking for trouble. Chapter 1734. 1734. In the powerful Dragon Phoenix Empire of 1734. 6 young men and women fell to the ground and spat out blood. In the future imperial capital of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, the streets were crowded with pedestrians. 7 ape men attacked the 6 young men and women, causing them to fall to the ground. This instantly attracted the attention of everyone in the surroundings. In particular, the words "trash" in the vast region made the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire frown, and a trace of coldness appeared on their faces. Everyone, isn't it a little too much to injure people in front of our Dragon and Phoenix Empire? Hiyuan turned his head and spoke to the 7 ape men with an icy expression. You aren't an empire yet, right? The ape man in the middle opened his mouth, revealing a mouth full of dense teeth as he spoke indifferently. We are guests. We've waited here for so long just to have a meal. Here, this is your treatment fee. Scram. As the ape man spoke, he waved his arm and threw spirit stones at the 6 young men and women as he spoke arrogantly. You. The 6 young men and women had ugly expressions on their faces as anger appeared on their faces. You guys, aren't you being a little too arrogant? Hurting people in our Dragon Phoenix Empire, are you looking down on us? When Hiyuan saw this scene, he took 2 steps towards them with a gloomy face. What an arrogant bunch. How dare they cause trouble in our Dragon Phoenix Empire? That's right. Which faction are they from? How dare they be so arrogant? Cripple these bastards. Young Master Hiyuan, cripple these bastards. In the surroundings, some of the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire were also shouting at the 7 ape men indignantly. Shut up. We are guests from the 10,000 Fey Empire, and we accidentally injured a few people. But are you going to cripple us? Huh. Not to mention that your Dragon and Phoenix Empire has yet to become an empire, so what if you become one? The ape man in the middle said with a loud laugh, not caring about the people around him at all. When they came, they had already learned that their emperor was going to destroy the Dragon and Phoenix Empire on the day that it was announced as an empire. Furthermore, the Phoenix Empire was with them. They did not take the Dragon Phoenix Empire seriously at all and did as they pleased. So what if they were the ones who beat you up? In fact, their tone was filled with provocation. The 10,000 Fey Empire. Hiyuan's pupils constricted slightly when he heard their words, and a solemn expression appeared on his face. What? They're from the 10,000 Fey Empire? The 10,000 Fey Empire's strength isn't weak. Everyone from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire was slightly shocked and extremely embarrassed. The 10,000 Fey Empire was the only empire built by a demon beast on the continent. Its terrifying strength could be ranked 3rd in the entire continent. A veteran empire with hundreds of thousands of foundations was completely incomparable to them. Moreover, the 10,000 Fey Empire was personally invited by the Dragon Phoenix Empire to watch the ceremony. It's just a small matter. If the 10,000 Fey Empire wants to fight, so be it. Your Dragon Phoenix Empire has no manners at all. So what if the 10,000 Fey Empire wants to let everyone in first? At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded from the side. Everyone who was watching was slightly taken aback as they looked over. When they saw a few middle-aged men dressed in fiery red robes, they were slightly taken aback. That seems to be from the Phoenix Dynasty's Sacred Fire Clan. That's right, it's from the Phoenix Dynasty. That's the empire that the Empress once founded, a legendary empire. Hiss, I didn't expect them to speak up for the 10,000 Fey Empire. Everyone around was slightly shocked. Their faces were filled with shock, but at the same time, they were also somewhat embarrassed. Seeing the Phoenix dynasty speak up for the 10,000 Fey Empire, He Yuan's expression became even more embarrassed. In such a situation, it wasn't something he could decide. He didn't dare to make a decision either. Even if he was one of the best of the younger generation in the entire Dragon and Phoenix Empire, even if his ancestor was a longevity expert. Now, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire will suffer a loss. It's impossible to do anything to the people from the 10,000 Fey Empire. After all, even if the Dragon and Phoenix Empire were to establish an empire, it would still be very different. That's right. This is just a small matter. Even if the people from the 10,000 Fey Empire were to kill them, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire would probably not say anything. Around them, some of the Aoshan Empire and other factions that had come to watch the ceremony noticed the situation and said indifferently. Their voices were not concealed at all, and the people from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire could hear them clearly. This made the people from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire look even more embarrassed. If they fell behind, they would be beaten up, and if they were weak, they would be bullied. What happened? At this moment, a group of more than 10 swordsmen with long swords flew over. They were all wearing the same golden clothes, and there was no emotion on their faces. Their bodies were extremely cold. 15 dragon guards rushed over. At the moment, because the Dragon and Phoenix Empire was a bit weak, the dragon guards of the Dragon Palace were temporarily in charge of security for the next few days. When the dragon guards arrived, what everyone didn't know was that more than a dozen strange demons were already hiding in the surroundings. The city guards are here. The swordsman city guards sent by Lord Wang. The people from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire saw more than a dozen dragon guards flying over and said softly, "Punish them severely." Wang Xian stood in the crowd and watched the arrogant demonic beasts of the 10,000 Fey Empire. When he saw the arrival of the dragon guards, he immediately transmitted his voice to them. The crowd was slightly stunned. It's the Dragon King. The leader of the dragon guards, who had the combat strength of half a step away from longevity, immediately transmitted his voice. Captain of the city guards, 7 demonic beasts of the 10,000 Fey Empire injured 6 people from our empire. He Yuan immediately said when he saw the 15 dragon guards. How troublesome. We have already thrown the compensation spirit stones to them. Let's go eat. When the ape man in the lead saw that the dragon guards had arrived, he did not take them seriously. Instead, he said impatiently. As he spoke, he walked straight into the restaurant. The group of 7 demonic beasts swaggered about. How arrogant. When the surrounding people heard their words, they said with an embarrassed expression, "Clang, clang, clang." However, at this moment, the group of dragon guards pulled out their golden longswords and directly stopped the 7 demonic beasts. Our Dragon and Phoenix Empire should have reminded you that in our place, please abide by our laws. The dragon guards, who had the combat power of half-step longevity realm, said coldly with an expressionless face. Didn't you just injure a few people? What do you, the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, want to do to us? The ape man in the lead raised his head slightly and asked with disdain when he saw the sword that stopped them. According to the laws of our Dragon and Phoenix Empire, you will be imprisoned for 1 year for hurting people in the Imperial City. The dragon guard said coldly. Imprisoned for 1 year. However, the dragon guard's words made the 7 ape men burst into laughter. They stared at the dragon guards mockingly and said coldly, "I'm leaving today. I'd like to see what you can do to me." Chapter 1735. 1735. The mighty Dragon Phoenix Empire. I'd like to see what you can do to me. The ape man in the lead said to the dragon guards with a disdainful face. After saying that, he flicked away the long sword in front of him with contempt and walked forward proudly. All the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire looked at this scene with an embarrassed expression. The demon beasts of the 10,000 Fey Empire were simply slapping their faces. Hee hee. The Sacred Fire clan members watched this scene with smiles on their faces. Clang. However, just as the ape-man pushed away the golden longsword and took a step forward, a sharp sound rang out. Those who resist will die. The sound of the sharp sword was raised, and the dragon guard's voice rang out at the same time. The moment he swung his long sword, everyone in the surroundings had looks of astonishment on their faces. The 7 ape-men were stunned, and a look of shock flashed across their eyes. Especially the ape-man in the lead. He looked at the sword that was coming towards him, and a look of confusion and fear appeared on his face. Pooh! However, this only happened in an instant. In an instant, the sword had already descended, and the ape-man in the lead did not have the slightest ability to resist. Peng! A corpse fell heavily to the ground, and his head was directly chopped off. What? Everyone in the surroundings looked at this scene in shock. The guards of the Dragon Phoenix Empire had actually killed the demonic beasts of the 10,000 Fey Empire. You actually dared to kill the demonic beasts of our 10,000 Fey Empire. Your Dragon Phoenix Empire is simply courting death. Beside them, the other 6 ape-men from the 10,000 Fey Empire had savage expressions. They pointed at the dragon guards and roared with killing intent. Pooh pooh pooh. However, at that moment, the sound of swords being drawn rang out. Peng peng peng. Following that, the ape-men fell to the ground and were all killed. The ape-men's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief, as well as a hint of regret deep in their hearts. They really dared to make a move. Please abide by the law in our Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Those who violate the law together will be punished. Those who resist will be killed. The dragon guard's cold voice sounded. His face was still as indifferent as before, without the slightest bit of emotion. Hiss, the people of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire are so powerful. They really dare to make a move. These are the people of the 10,000 Fey Empire. They actually directly killed them. Oh my god, the people from the Dragon Phoenix Empire are so tough? They actually killed them directly. Ah, I support them. Well done. Kill those bastards. When the people gathered around saw the 7 ape-men from the 10,000 Fey Empire being killed, they were all shocked. The factions that came to watch the ceremony were all dumbfounded. Even the people from the Ao Shan Empire were shocked. To dare to kill people from the 10,000 Fey Empire, was the Dragon Phoenix Empire that ferocious? Not afraid of the 10,000 Fey Empire taking revenge? Or was it that they had nothing to fear? However, compared to the shock from the other factions, everyone from the Dragon Phoenix Empire was extremely relieved. Their strength was the true glory of an empire. Roar, your puny Dragon Phoenix Empire actually dares to kill members of our 10,000 Fey Empire. At that moment, a roar suddenly came from behind them. The sound reverberated within a few hundred kilometers. The sound instantly caused the entire imperial capital to tremble. Everyone looked over at the same time. When the 10,000 Fey Empire members heard the sound, they immediately flew over. Flying within the imperial capital is prohibited. Get lost. At this moment, Ao Jian's cold voice rang out. Everyone who flew into the sky had a drastic change in expression as their bodies plummeted downwards. Ao Jian's figure instantly appeared in the sky above the restaurant. He looked down at everyone from above. But at the same time, Feng Lingtian, who was also responsible for the city guard's duties, appeared at the side. Ao Jian, don't give the 10,000 Fey Empire any face. Wang Xian crossed his arms and transmitted his voice to Ao Jian directly. He watched this scene with a smile on his face. Today, he wanted to see how the 10,000 Fey Empire would dare to be arrogant. Ao Jian, who appeared in the sky, sensed the Dragon King immediately. When he heard the Dragon King's voice transmission, he nodded silently. Who dares to make a ruckus in our Dragon and Phoenix Empire? Dao Jian looked coldly at the claw-hunting demonic beast that had sharp claws and a slender body. Who gave your Dragon Phoenix Empire the courage to kill a member of our 10,000 Fey Empire? The claw-hunting demonic beast slowly walked towards the center. Beside him, there were 5 clansmen. Leader, 7 members of the 10,000 Fey Empire have seriously injured others for no reason. Under arrest, we will directly kill them. The Dragon Guard reported directly to Ao Jian. According to the laws of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, shouting in the imperial capital is prohibited. Anyone who makes noise will have their arms cut off. When Ao Jian heard the Dragon Guard's report, he looked at the claw-hunting demonic beast and said coldly, "Clang." Just as he finished speaking, Ao Jian flicked his finger and a sword chi instantly cut off the claw-hunting demonic beast's arm. Ao Yao, who was at the first level of longevity, could fight against a demon at the second level of longevity, especially the Golden Swordfish clan, who had cultivated the Heartless Sword principle. It could be said that they were the most terrifying in the Dragon Palace. Their terror was no less than that of the strange demon. What? Seeing Ao Jian cut off the arm of a demon beast from the 10,000 Fey Empire on the spot, everyone was dumbfounded again. What is the Dragon Phoenix Empire doing? Is it expressing their strength? The forces that came to watch the ceremony were shocked as their expressions changed. The Dragon Phoenix Empire's strength was beyond everyone's expectations. Hiss! When the claw-hunting demon beast whose arm had been cut off saw the extremely powerful Ao Jian, his pupils constricted, and a trace of fear appeared on his face. At that moment, he realized that the Dragon Phoenix Empire did not care about their identity as the 10,000 Fey Empire. He had no doubt that if he dared to say anything else, he would definitely be killed by that merciless swordsman. Awesome! Ha! Domineering. He's simply too domineering. I like it. He dares to be so arrogant in our territory. Does he really think that we won't dare to do anything to them? Continue to be so arrogant? The surrounding citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire looked on with excitement. At this moment, they felt extremely good. Feng Lingtian stood at the side and looked at Ao Jian in astonishment. Suddenly he noticed Wang Xian's figure. He pursed his lips and didn't say a word. Normally, Ao Jian and the Dragon Guards wouldn't be so overbearing and disrespectful to the 10,000 Fey Empire. Clearly, all of this was under the command of his brother-in-law, Bzz. However, in the next instant, an extremely violent aura pressed down on them. Within a radius of several hundred kilometers, everyone felt their breathing stop. A death threat came. Dragon and Phoenix Empire, you'd better give us an explanation. Otherwise, we will let you witness the roars of 10,000 beasts, wreaking havoc in the world. A violent roar resounded throughout the imperial capital. Chapter 1736. 1736 Phoenix Cry 9 Heavens Empire Established 1. A cold and violent voice resounded throughout the entire imperial capital. The terrifying pressure caused everyone to feel slightly suffocated. Hearing this voice, everyone in the imperial capital had shocked expressions on their faces. Just now, the voice of that expert from the 10,000 Fey Empire had already caused the entire imperial capital to be incomparably shocked. Now, hearing this voice, feeling the terrifying killing intent contained within, some people were stunned. They raised their heads in shock and looked up into the sky. What was it that caused the experts from the 10,000 Fey Empire to be so angry and say such cold words? At the Dragon and Phoenix Imperial Palace, Feng Luan, Feng Yun, Lan Qingyue, and the other girls, as well as all the important officials of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, had a slight change in expression when they heard this voice. Their bodies moved and they quickly flew over. At the same time, 2 figures with blood-red eyes appeared above the restaurant. One was a 5-meter-tall ape man with muscles all over his body, and the other was a 6 to 7-meter-tall claw-hunting demonic beast. Their terrifying aura suppressed an area of dozens of kilometers. When they saw the corpses on the ground, the 5-meter-tall ape-man's eyes shot out a terrifying killing intent. The sky began to darken as the spiritual energy of fierce beasts gathered in the sky. They coldly swept their gaze over everyone around them. Oh no, the experts of the 10,000 Fey Empire are furious. Seeing the two Wansho and Wansho experts of the 10,000 Fey Empire instantly appear in the sky, emitting a violent killing intent, everyone's expressions changed drastically below them. These two were the demon emperors of the 10,000 Fey Empire, extremely terrifying mighty figures. Withdraw your auras. Clang, clang, clang. However, at this moment, an extremely cold voice sounded. In the sky, a terrifying golden sword flashed past, directly tearing apart the ferocious beast patterns that had condensed in the sky. Sharp sword rays appeared around the two demon emperors of the 10,000 Fey Empire. The sharp sword gleams were like the tongues of poisonous snakes, ready to launch a fatal attack at any moment. The two demon emperors saw that their auras were instantly destroyed and their attacks locked onto them. Their expressions changed slightly as they felt the fatal threat from the sword gleams. Dragon and Phoenix Empire, are you trying to make an enemy out of us? The two demon emperors stared at the sword gleams around them with fear and gloominess as they stared at Ao Jian. Hiss. Everyone below gasped when they saw this scene. They watched in shock. Demon emperors of the 10,000 Demon Empire, you should first understand the situation. At the same time, discipline your subordinates. Ao Jian stared at them expressionlessly and said coldly, "This is the reason why you dare to kill members of the 10,000 Demon Empire." The two demon emperors narrowed their eyes filled with killing intent. In the territory of the Dragon Phoenix Empire, you must abide by our laws. Not to mention the members of the 10,000 Fey Empire, even you can challenge us to see if you can get out of the Dragon Phoenix Empire alive. Ao Jian was still expressionless as he spoke. However, his words were extremely domineering, causing the expressions of the two demon emperors of the 10,000 Fey Empire to change drastically. No one expected the Dragon Phoenix Empire to be so powerful. Even the two demon emperors of the 10,000 Fey Empire did not give them any face. Hum hum hum. At that moment, many phantoms appeared in the sky. Feng Luan and Company, the longevity experts of the Aoshan Empire, the longevity experts of the Draconid Empire, the Sacred Flame Patriarch and Emperor's Master of the Phoenix Empire, as well as the longevity experts of the Nine God Empire. All the top-tier experts appeared in the void. They didn't show themselves, but powerful energies enveloped them. What's going on? Feng Luan stood in the flames, looked down, and asked indifferently. All of them heard Ao Jian's domineering words and saw sharp sword chi pointing at the two demon emperors of the 10,000 Fey Empire. This made them frown slightly. Dragon and Phoenix Empress. Feng Lingtian's figure moved and arrived in front of Feng Luan and the others. 7 members of the 10,000 Fey Empire injured 6 people in our imperial capital with an arrogant attitude. When the members of the Dragon Guards attacked, they resisted arrest and we brought them to justice. Feng Lingtian immediately reported to Feng Luan. In the end, his aura shook and his voice enveloped the surroundings. Empress, my brother-in-law is down there. He should be the one commanding Ao Jian to be so domineering. He transmitted his voice to Feng Luan and the other girl's ears. Huh. Feng Luan swept her gaze down and immediately saw Wang Xian, who was standing below with his arms crossed and a smile on his face. Empress Dragon and Phoenix, our 10,000 Demon Empire is invited here. As the saying goes, guests are guests. Is this how you treat your guests? Even if the members of the 10,000 Fey Empire are at fault, you can't kill them, right? They are disciples of the 10,000 Fey Empire. The two Fey Emperors said with extremely cold expressions. Everyone's gaze turned to the area in the sky that was shrouded in flames. We naturally welcome friends who come from afar. However, if friends don't abide by the rules here, we naturally won't let them go. Your disciples were in the wrong first. Could it be that the people of the 10,000 Fei Empire want to take revenge for them? Feng Yuan saw Wang Xian below and understood a little. She said to the two demon emperors of the 10,000 Fei Empire calmly. Revenge? Good, good, very good. Empress Dragon and Phoenix, I hope that you can continue to be strong. The two demon emperors had extremely gloomy expressions when they heard Feng Yuan's words. After that, they sneered and disappeared with a flash. Feng Yuan frowned slightly when she heard their words. She looked at Wang Xian below and left as well. In the sky, the longevity experts from the other empires and some factions were somewhat surprised. They were extremely shocked that the Dragon and Phoenix Empire dared to offend the 10,000 Demon Empire. Their eyes flickered as they left as well. Not giving the 10,000 Fei Empire any face, this feud has been formed. I never thought that the Dragon Phoenix Empire would dare to offend the 10,000 Fei Empire that has a long history. Who gave them the confidence? That's right. We have also observed that the Dragon Phoenix Empire's citizens are clearly a level lower than the Empire. The group of longevity experts left. Below them, the disciples who had come to watch the ceremony were shocked when they saw the feud between the Dragon Phoenix Empire and the 10,000 Fei Empire. They could not understand how an empire that was just about to be established dared to offend the 10,000 Fei Empire, which had a deep heritage. While everyone was confused and shocked, they also felt some fear and respect for the Dragon Phoenix Empire. If the 10,000 Fei Empire dared to offend them directly, it was not necessarily that they did not dare to offend them. Seeing that the two Fei Emperors of the 10,000 Fei Empire did not dare to cause trouble and left directly, the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire were extremely excited. Their powerful country naturally made them proud. So what if they were members of the 10,000 Fei Empire? If they dared to cause trouble here and hurt them, they would have to pay a heavy price. Chapter 1737. 1737 Phoenix Cry 9 Heavens Empire established too. I never thought that the Dragon and Phoenix Empire would be so powerful. They don't even give face to the 10,000 Fei Empire. It's very similar to the style of the former Empress, but who gave them the confidence? According to my senses, the Empress's strength is not as strong as it was in the past. In a corner of the imperial capital's imperial palace of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire, Patriarch Sacred Flame and the Phoenix Empire's imperial master were sitting in a room. The two of them were conversing in puzzlement. It was out of their expectations that the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty dared to offend the 10,000 Fei Empire. The Empress has never had a good impression of the 10,000 Fei Empire. Perhaps this is also the reason why the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty is so powerful. Patriarch Sacred Flame slowly guessed. There were quite a few figures who were standing with the Empress just now. There are at least 10 people in the longevity realm of the Dragon and Phoenix dynasty now. This is really unexpected. According to the information I received, there's another Lord Wang in the Dragon Phoenix Empire. He's very powerful and is rumored to be even stronger than the Empress. I wonder how the Empress managed to recruit so many experts in just over 1,000 years. The eyes of the Emperor's master flickered. The strength that the Dragon Phoenix Empire displayed just now made them feel a trace of fear. Based on the information they received, the longevity experts that the Dragon Phoenix Empire had were only slightly weaker than their Phoenix Empire. If they were to fight, even if they could win, they would suffer heavy losses. Emperor Phoenix is very confident this time. Perhaps Emperor Phoenix has other trump cards. Sacred Flame Patriarch muttered. Let's hope so. The Imperial Master nodded. Because he had sent them here in advance, they didn't know that the 10,000 Fei Empire had joined forces with the Phoenix Empire. In fact, Emperor Phoenix didn't trust them at all. After all, the Phoenix Empire was built by the Empress herself. All the powerhouses fought with the Empress. He was afraid that someone would leak the news, so he didn't tell anyone. In the imperial capital, a storm had ended. Everyone in the entire city was talking about what had just happened. Wang Xian looked in the direction where the empire of 10,000 demons had left, and the corner of his mouth curled up slightly. If it was the Ao Shan Empire or the Draconid Empire that was causing trouble, he might have to consider the consequences. However, if it was the empire of 10,000 demons, there was no longer a need. Wang Xian looked at He Yuan and the rest who had entered the restaurant and immediately walked over. Lord Ao was simply too domineering just now. He was facing 2 demon emperors of the empire of 10,000 demons alone, and his sword radiance was pointed straight at them, causing the 2 demon emperors to be extremely fearful. After all, he is a subordinate of our Dragon King. He is simply too cool. All right, I wonder where Brother Wang Xian is now. Just as he arrived at the entrance of the private room in the restaurant, Wang Xian heard a voice coming from inside. He smiled and knocked on the door of the private room. Come in. The door was opened by a young man. When everyone in the private room saw Wang Xian, they were slightly stunned. Sir Wang. A group of Heaven's Pride disciples from the Dragon and Phoenix Empires stood up nervously and greeted him respectfully. Long Xiaotian and He Yuan also stood up immediately and opened their mouths slightly. Long time no see. I'm here to catch up with you guys. But don't you recognize me? Wang Xian looked at them and smiled. He walked over and patted Long Xiaotian and He Yuan on the shoulders. How could it be? How could it be? It's just that I didn't expect that my good brother from back then would be so powerful now. Ha! When I told others in the Luhai district, they didn't believe me. Long Xiaotian reacted and said excitedly. He brother. Brother Wang, I didn't expect you to come looking for us. He Yuan looked at Wang Xian. His face was also filled with excitement and excitement. The current Wang Xian was no longer the young man who drank with them back then. Instead, he was an existence who stood at the peak of the continent and possessed a terrifying force. They initially thought that both parties would be people from 2 different worlds in the future. They didn't expect Wang Xian to come looking for them today. There's no need to be so formal. When we first met, you were so proud that you wanted to teach me a lesson. Wang Xian smiled and sat at the side without putting on any airs. I was still young and impulsive back then. When I first met Brother Wang Xian, I wanted to teach you a lesson. In the end, you defeated me. He Yuan recalled the past and couldn't help but smile as he spoke. The group of young men and He Sui Qing and a few girls at the side looked at Wang Xian with admiration. They looked at the 3 of them as they chatted. Later on, the group of people also relaxed and chatted occasionally. Wang Xian chatted with Long Xiaotian and He Yuan for more than 2 hours. You 2 are the only friends that I, Wang Xian, have in the Transcendence continent. Xiaotian, your cultivation talent is a little lacking. I'll get you a longevity-level bloodline in a while. He Yuan, your talent is sufficient to cultivate to the longevity level. I won't give you anything else. When you marry He Sui Qing, you must call me. Wang Xian said to Long Xiaotian and He Yuan before he left. In the restaurant, Long Xiaotian and He Yuan were filled with excitement and excitement. This was especially so for Long Xiaotian. He was only at the 2nd level of the see-through void tier. It would be a miracle if he could reach the 5th or 6th level of the see-through void tier in his lifetime. However, Wang Xian's words could make him stand at the peak of the supernatural continent. He Yuan was also extremely excited. Wang Xian's words meant that he would be nurtured to the realm of longevity, not to mention that he would marry He Sui Qing in the future. No one would think that Wang Xian was bragging. That was because if he said it out loud, he would have the ability to achieve it. This made He Sui Qing's face turn red with excitement. The rest of the young men looked at them enviously and tried to curry favor with them. Wang Xian walked out of the restaurant in a good mood. Long Xiaotian and He Yuan were his only 2 friends in the supernatural continent. Naturally, he had to lend a hand. This was not a difficult task for him. Let's go to Feng Wan's place. Maybe she is very confused now. Wang Xian moved his body and teleported directly into the palace of the Emperor of Dragon and Phoenix. Xiao Xian. When he arrived, a group of girls shouted at him. Ao Jian's actions were ordered by me. Wang Xian pinched the faces of a few girls, causing them to scold him. Then he said directly to Feng Luan. I heard from Feng Lingtian that it's fine to offend them. These guys from the 10,000 Fei Empire are very annoying. Feng Luan shook her head nonchalantly. As for why Wang Xian wanted to do this, she would not ask. They are the ones who want to die. I will return to the Dragon Palace in a while. I will return on the day of the founding ceremony of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Wang Xian saw that Feng Luan did not ask further. He did not explain too much and said with a twinkle in his eyes. Little Xian, are you? Feng Luan heard his words and looked at him with some doubt. There are some things, but you don't have to worry about them, Feng Luan. Just focus on the inauguration ceremony of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Leave the rest to me. Wang Xian didn't tell them about the Phoenix Empire and the 10,000 Demons Empire. Chapter 1738. 1738 Phoenix Cry 9 Heavens Empire was established 3. Feng Luan took a look at Wang Xian and didn't ask about the specifics. After chatting with the group of girls for a while, Wang Xian went straight to the Dragon Palace. Prime Minister Gue, gather all the members of the Dragon Palace. There will be a huge battle soon. Wang Xian entered the Dragon Palace and ordered Prime Minister Gue. It's the Dragon King. Prime Minister Gue replied immediately and began to gather all the leaders. In less than 5 minutes, other than the strange demon and the golden swordfish who were staying in the imperial capital, all the 17,000 warriors of the Dragon Palace were gathered at the Dragon Field. Even the Firehammer clan who was responsible for forging weapons were gathered. Wang Xian's gaze swept across all the members of the Dragon Palace. There were 17,000 of them, and the weakest one was at level 3 of the See-Through Realm. They possessed the combat strength of the 4th level of the See-Through Realm. There were a total of 90 members of the Dragon Palace who could match the combat strength of a half-step into the Longevity Realm. This was not even counting the powerhouses of the Dragon Spur Division and the Dragon Guard. There will be a real battle tomorrow. Now, all the members of the Dragon Palace will practice. Wang Xian looked at all the members of the Dragon Palace and said in a low voice, "It's the Dragon King." Prime Minister Gue and the other leaders nodded their heads heavily and began to arrange their troops. The battle tomorrow would be a real battle. The Phoenix Empire and the 10,000 Demons Empire had a total of 600,000 to 700,000 experts. Among them, there were 70,000 to 80,000 insightful Void Realm experts. The two empires had sent out 70,000 to 80,000 insightful Void Realm experts. This was definitely an extremely terrifying number. At the same time, this was almost the entire strength of the two empires. In terms of the number of insightful Emptiness Realm experts, the two empires had completely crushed the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. Even with the addition of the Dragon Palace, the number was undoubtedly overwhelming. However, Wang Xian was not afraid at all. Currently, there were 20,000 insightful Emptiness Realm experts from the Dragon Palace and around 15,000 insightful Emptiness Realm experts from the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. The reason why the Dragon Phoenix Empire had so many experts was mainly due to the arrival of the Fire Lark tribe. When the two forces were added together, there were a total of 35,000 insightful Emptiness Realm experts. In terms of numbers, it was still more than double the difference between the two empires. However, there was still the Nine God Empire. Mo Sha had brought over 10,000 insightful Emptiness Realm experts. Furthermore, all of them were the elites of the Nine God Empire and were experts above level 3 of the insightful Emptiness Realm. Including them, there were about 45,000 insightful Emptiness Realm experts. Although they were still lagging behind, they were much stronger than the two empires in terms of strength. One had to know that the lowest level of the Dragon Palace, level 3 of the insightful Emptiness Realm, could fight against level 4 of the insightful Emptiness Realm. The Phoenix Empire and the 10,000 Fey Empire had 80% of the experts from level 1 to level 3 of the insightful emptiness realm. In terms of overall strength, they had the upper hand. Even though the current analysis showed that they had the upper hand, Wang Xian still could not afford to slack off. In order to avoid any losses, Wang Xian instructed all the members of the Dragon Palace to be 100% prepared. The long-range attacks, close-range attacks, and the supporting Dolphin clan. All the members of the Dragon Palace started to practice and prepare for the upcoming battle. Time slowly passed, and the day of the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire soon arrived. Early in the morning, the entire imperial city was bustling with activity. Everyone walked towards the front of the imperial city. In the ruins of the former Divine Kingdom, in front of the statue of the Master of the Divine Kingdom, there was a huge field. That field was not crowded even when tens of millions of people gathered together. The statue had been removed and replaced with a statue that was covered by objects. There were many luxurious platforms set up in front of them. The Dragon and Phoenix Empire's army had gathered in the empty space in front of them. Many soldiers stood there neatly. There were more than a dozen viewing platforms on both sides. It was also the place where the various empires and factions observed the ceremony. As for the people at the front, they were standing one by one. Since a long time ago, tens of millions of people had crowded over here. If Feng Yuan and the others didn't forbid too many people from coming, there would have been hundreds of millions of people. There's still an hour before our empire is established. It's really exciting. The sixth great empire of the transcendent continent, the second empire established by a great empress in history. After today, our Dragon Phoenix Empire will truly stand at the top of the continent. This is the establishment of an empire. It's not something the Wuji Empire could compare to. It's simply too spectacular. In the future, we will also be citizens of the empire. Long live the Dragon Phoenix Empress. An incomparably lively voice came from the front. The citizens stood there waiting with excited faces. Cheers could be heard from time to time. Tens of millions of people. With a glance, all of them were densely packed with heads. If it weren't for the powerhouses maintaining order, even if every one of them wasn't weak, they would still be squeezed to death by so many people. They're here. The people from the major forces are here. Half an hour later, the other forces from the continent entered one by one. Each faction had at least 1,000 people, and many of them were led by longevity experts. This was especially so for the 5 great empires, which had all brought experts at the profound void realm. Following the arrival of the spectating groups of the various major factions, the ministers of the Dragon Phoenix Empire and the city lords of the various cities also walked in and stood at the front. Their eyes were filled with excitement. Oh, that's the 9-God Emperor Lord? The newly born Emperor Lord of the 9-God Empire. Why is he here personally? That's true, and the 9-God Empire actually sent over 10,000 people this time. All of them are top-notch experts. Why are there so many people here? After the various large factions that came to observe the ceremony took their seats, they saw the experts of the 9-God Empire who were located near the center, and their faces revealed shock. Especially when they saw the 9-God Emperor come personally, their hearts were filled with disbelief. It seemed like it was impossible to invite the emperor of another empire to the grand ceremony of one empire. However, although they were puzzled, they could not find any answers. As everyone slowly entered the venue, the time for the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire was getting closer and closer. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp, 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 chirp. Not long after, a crisp chirping sound rang out from behind the grand ceremony stage. The sound was filled with joy and nobility. When the chirping sound rang out, everyone looked towards the sky in unison. Everyone immediately shut their mouths and looked over excitedly. The grand ceremony for the establishment of the empire was about to begin. That is, the fire lark. When the factions that came to watch the ceremony saw the fire lark in the sky, they were all shocked. Following that, a familiar figure appeared. A row of fiery red battle armor, each battle armor having a fiery red wing. A red feather was stuck on the heads of the soldiers wearing battle armor. The 5,000 people were divided into two groups and slowly walked onto the stage. Each of their eyes were filled with excitement and tears. The fire cloud guards appeared. Chapter 1739. 1739 Phoenix Cry 9 Heavens Empire was established for. Fire Cloud Personal Guard, that's the Fire Cloud Personal Guard. My God, why would the Fire Cloud Personal Guard appear here? Fire Cloud Sparrow Clan? How did they appear? Could it be that the Fire Cloud Sparrow has joined the Dragon Phoenix Empire? The Fire Cloud Personal Guard, who once accompanied the Empress throughout her life and was once the strongest army of the Phoenix Empire, actually appeared in the Dragon Phoenix Empire. The familiar figure, the familiar attire, and the slowly condensing fire clouds in the sky. The flying fire cloud sparrow demonic beast circled in the sky, causing all the factions that came to watch the ceremony to be able to confirm that this was the Fire Cloud Personal Guards. The most powerful personal guards of the Phoenix Empire. The left and right hands of the Empress. Seeing their appearance, all the factions that came to watch the ceremony couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. They had never expected that the famous Fire Cloud Sparrow clan would reappear, and that the Fire Cloud Personal Guards would reappear. What are the Fire Cloud Personal Guards? Hiss, when did our Dragon Phoenix Empire have so many experts? Fire Cloud Personal Guards, what are they? A total of 5,000 top-notch experts, oh my God. The spectators were not the only ones who were shocked. Even some of the ministers and city lords of the Dragon Phoenix Empire were looking at the group of personal guards who were walking over in shock. They did not know when the Dragon Phoenix Empire had such an army. As for the commoners, they were even more unaware. The Fire Cloud Personal Guards were once the personal guards of the Eternal Great Empress. They once followed the Great Empress to establish the Phoenix Empire. They are the Great Empress's most loyal subordinates. I don't know why they joined our Dragon Phoenix Empire. A few knowledgeable people who knew about the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan said to the people around them, "What? The Eternal Empress's personal guard?" Hearing this name, everyone was slightly shocked. Eternal Empress. Just these two words, everyone knew what it meant. When everyone from the Phoenix dynasty saw the Fire Cloud Personal Guard, their expressions were somewhat awkward. Chirp chirp. Chirp chirp. At this moment, the Fire Cloud Sparrow chirped again. The 5,000 Fire Cloud Guards lined up in two rows, leaving a path in the middle. At the end of the path, figures slowly appeared. The first to appear in front of everyone was Feng Luan, who was wearing a veil. Beside her, Feng Yun respectfully stretched out his hand to support her arm. Feng Luan was dressed in a fiery red dragon and phoenix robe. Her noble crown made her seem like a goddess who stood high up in the sky. Feng Yun was dressed like the leader of the Fire Cloud Personal Guards. He dutifully followed at the side. Behind them were a group of girls dressed in all kinds of beautiful and noble clothes. Including Xiao Yu, there were 9 girls. Every girl was like a fairy in the sky. Behind the 9 girls were the 5 longevity experts of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. The group slowly walked toward the stage where the ceremony was held. At this moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Feng Luan and the others. Why does this scene look familiar? I remember that when the Phoenix dynasty was founded, I went to watch the ceremony as well. The Fire Cloud Sparrow ancestor, Feng Yun, accompanied the Empress. It's so familiar. It's very similar to the time when the Phoenix dynasty was founded. It seems that the Fire Cloud Sparrow clan has completely submitted to the Dragon Phoenix Empire. They have once again established the Fire Cloud Personal Guard. They are also an empress. When the factions that came to attend the ceremony saw this scene, they whispered among themselves. Our Empress is out. Behind the Empress is our Dragon Phoenix Empire's Council of Elders. Wow, the elders of our Council of Elders are all goddesses. I think that our empire, calling it the Goddess Empire, is pretty good. Seeing Feng Luan and the others slowly walking over, all the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire revealed heated expressions in their eyes. They stared at their Emperor Lord and Elder Council, their eyes filled with reverence. All the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire knew that their empire only took 8 years to establish. To establish an empire so quickly, one could imagine how powerful their empress was. Feng Luan slowly walked over and walked to the ceremony stage. A group of female students and all the experts of the Dragon Phoenix Empire stood behind her. On the stage, Feng Luan's gaze swept across the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire and everyone who came to watch the ceremony. Today, I thank all the major forces on the continent for participating in the founding ceremony of our Dragon Phoenix Empire. 8 years ago, the Dragon Phoenix Empire established a dynasty in a small city. 8 years later, the Dragon Phoenix Empire announced the establishment of the 6th largest empire on the continent. A clear voice came out of Feng Luan's mouth and entered everyone's ears. As she spoke, she slowly took 2 steps forward. Upon hearing Feng Luan's words, the pupils of some of the forces that were not very clear contracted slightly, and disbelief appeared on their faces. The years? How was this possible? The former number 1 empress of the Eternal Era used more than 1,000 years to build an empire. As expected of the empress. Sacred Flame Ancestor and Emperor Master looked at each other. From their eyes, they saw the other party's fear and a trace of profound coldness. For more than 1,000 years, I have experienced frost and snow. Suddenly, under everyone's incredulous expressions, Feng Luan slightly raised her head, and an imposing aura emitted from her body. Her words caused everyone's faces to reveal a puzzled expression. She had experienced frost and snow for more than 1,000 years. What did she mean by this? An eternal empress has once again descended upon the transcendent continent. In the next moment, an ice-cold voice resounded throughout the entire sky. In the sky above Feng Luan, an incomparably huge fire phoenix slowly condensed. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The incomparably huge fire phoenix looked up into the sky and let out a phoenix cry. A phoenix cry from the 9 heavens. Buzz. The veil on Feng Luan's face slowly disappeared. A face that was once familiar to everyone appeared in everyone's sight. It was an exquisite and beautiful face that did not seem to belong to the mortal world. There was an exquisite flaming phoenix dancing between her brows. Her brows were raised high. At this moment, everyone's faces revealed shock. Today I, Feng Luan, announce the establishment of the 6th great empire of the extraordinary continent, the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Today I, Feng Luan, announce to the world that the old me has returned. The old empress has returned. A cold and noble voice entered everyone's ears. The familiar face and the cold words caused everyone around to reveal shocked expressions. Even the Wansho experts from the Dragonman Empire and the Ao Shan Empire who had come to observe the ceremony revealed shocked expressions when they saw this face and heard the declaration. An eternal empress, Feng Luan. How is this possible? Hasn't she already fallen? What's going on? The empress of the Dragon Phoenix Empire is actually the former empress. Heavens! Exclamations sounded from the mouths of the various large factions who had come to observe the ceremony. They stood up in shock and stared at Feng Luan on the stage. Why had the fallen empress suddenly appeared here? Everyone was dumbfounded. Chapter 1740. 1740 Phoenix Cry 9 Heavens Empire was established 5. What? Our Dragon Phoenix Empress was the first empress of all time? Oh my god, how is this possible? According to the rumors, Didn't the Phoenix dynasty's empress fall more than 1,800 years ago? The first empress of all time is actually our dragon Phoenix empress. This is simply too shocking. No way, our empress is actually the #1 empress of all time. Then, doesn't that mean that our empress is the only powerful existence on the continent who has successively established 2 great empires? The people who came to watch the ceremony had faces full of shock. All the ministers, soldiers, and people of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire also had faces full of shock. Their empress was actually the #1 empress of the continent in history. She was the only strange woman on the continent thousands of years ago. Chirp, chirp, chirp. At this moment, the fire phoenix that was dozens of kilometers in circumference condensed in the sky above Feng Wan. The lifelike fire phoenix let out a phoenix cry. Phoenix cries into the 9 heavens. I, Feng Wan, announce the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Feng Wan's dignified gaze swept across everyone in front of her. Her voice transmitted into the minds of the tens of millions of people in front of her. Officials of the Dragon Phoenix Empire pay their respects to the Great Empress. At the very front, the officials of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire widened their eyes. They immediately knelt on the ground and shouted loudly. Even the officials of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire only knew of Feng Wan's identity now. After learning of the true identity of their Dragon and Phoenix Empress, everyone was shocked and excited at the same time. No wonder their empress had great talent and great plans. No wonder their empress was able to manage the dynasty in an orderly manner. No wonder their empress was able to make a dynasty become an empire so quickly. It turned out that her empress was the legendary #1 empress on the continent. This made the respect and reverence in their hearts even deeper. All of them knelt on the ground and shouted loudly with faces full of excitement. All the soldiers of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire pay their respects to the Empress. All the soldiers of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire immediately knelt on the ground and shouted excitedly, "Walala! Pay our respects to the Empress." Behind them, the citizens also knelt on the ground with burning eyes and earth-shattering voices sounded. The voices of tens of millions of people reverberated within a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers. Ministers, soldiers, citizens, rise. Feng Wan's robes were light as a vast power swept towards the citizens of the Dragon and Phoenix Empire. A powerful force made them stand up. All the citizens stood up and stared at the Empress on the stage in awe. The Dragon and Phoenix Empire was established as the 6th great empire of the extraordinary continent, and it was also the 2nd empire that I, Feng Wan, founded. Feng Wan's lips parted slightly as she slowly explained when she saw everyone stand up. 1,800 years ago, I was almost killed by a crafty person. Later, for revenge, I built the Dragon and Phoenix Empire step by step. Her voice continued to ring out. When she finished speaking, everyone had shocked expressions on their faces and their eyes were shining. It turns out that the #1 Empress of the Eternal World did not fall by accident during cultivation, but was killed by someone. The eyes of the various factions that came to observe the ceremony flashed with a bright light as they swept their gazes over the Phoenix dynasty. The patriarch of the Phoenix dynasty's Sacred Fire clan and the emperor's teacher of the Phoenix dynasty stood there. They looked at the empress with gloomy expressions. At this moment, everyone knew that there was a problem with the Phoenix dynasty. This caused the experts from the various factions to look pensive. No one would have thought that the Empress of the Dragon Phoenix Empire was actually the founder of the Phoenix dynasty, the #1 Empress of all time. Now that the Empress had returned for revenge, she would definitely engage in a battle with the Phoenix dynasty. It was hard to say who would win or lose. However, for the #1 Empress of all time to be able to establish another empire in such a short period of time, one could imagine how terrifying she was. During this period of time, I would like to thank the soldiers who fought with me, the loyalty of the Fire Cloud personal guards, and all the citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Feng Yuan's voice continued to ring out. Tens of millions of people stared blankly. As Feng Yuan spoke, her gaze swept across the area below. She was slightly puzzled when she realized that there was no sign of Wang Xian. The empire has been established. The Firecloud Sparrow clan is now named the Firecloud Personal Guards. They are now. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Feng Yuan continued speaking. The empire had been established, so naturally, it was necessary to confer titles upon them. However, at this moment, a signal flare suddenly appeared in the sky dozens of kilometers away. The signal flare flew into the sky, leaving behind a very eye-catching mark that lingered in the sky for a long time. Everyone in the Dragon and Phoenix Empire was slightly startled, and their faces revealed curious expressions. When Feng Yuan saw the signal flare, she also slightly raised her brows and her eyes flickered. However, she ignored it and continued with the establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. Below, the Sacred Flame Ancestor and the Emperor's Master saw that the signal had already been sent out, and their eyes flickered with a cold luster. Next, I really want to know, Sacred Flame, Emperor Wen, my former subordinates, do you have anything you want to say to me? One by one, the positions were conferred. Feng Yuan suddenly changed the topic and looked in the direction of the Feng dynasty and asked indifferently. They're here. The Feng dynasty was created by our empress. All the experts in the empire were promoted by the empress. Just now, when the two longevity experts of the Feng dynasty saw our empress, they were not excited at all. It seems that they betrayed the empress. This bunch of ingrates. Without our empress, the Phoenix Empire wouldn't be where it is today. They actually betrayed us. When everyone saw the Empress turn her words to the Phoenix Empire, they couldn't help but feel a chill in their hearts. All the ministers, soldiers, and citizens of the Dragon Phoenix Empire stared coldly at the people of the Phoenix Empire. The anger and killing intent of tens of millions of people caused the expressions of everyone in the Phoenix Empire to change drastically. Empress, Sacred Flame Patriarch and the Emperor of the Feng dynasty, Di Wen, had a slight change in expression. Their eyes flickered as they shouted, "Congratulations on establishing the Dragon Phoenix Empire, Empress. However, the Emperor of our Feng dynasty is now Emperor Feng. We are loyal to Emperor Feng. One Emperor and one courtier. We have no choice." The Emperor's Master said expressionlessly. No choice? After learning of the news of the Empress' death, not only did you not take revenge for the Empress, you even acted as accomplices for the tiger. Look at the current Feng dynasty. In the hands of that crafty person, the people are living in misery. On the other hand, the 17 founding generals' families are thriving. As soon as the Emperor's Master finished speaking, Feng Yun, who was standing behind Feng Yuan, shouted angrily. The current emperor of the Feng dynasty is Emperor Feng. No one else has the right to judge. I wonder what the Dragon and Phoenix Empress wants? To become enemies with our Feng dynasty? The Emperor Master said indifferently with a dark expression. How about it? What belongs to me, I will naturally take it back. Those who hurt me and my family will naturally have to pay the price. Feng Yuan's gaze swept over Patriarch Sacred Flame and the Emperor Master, and a powerful killing intent shot out from her eyes. She didn't conceal it at all. All the surrounding forces that came to watch the ceremony watched this scene with flickering eyes. Next, there may be a good show to play out. Chapter 1741. 1741 Dragon Roar 9 Heaven's Dragon Palace was born. Kill them, kill those ingrates of the Phoenix dynasty. Kill them, we will fight side by side with the Empress, kill those damn things. Kill, kill, those who offend our Empress, kill. When the people of the Dragon Phoenix Empire felt the powerful killing intent of Feng Yuan, all the soldiers and officials stared at the Phoenix dynasty and roared loudly. Streams of cold killing intent locked onto everyone in the Phoenix dynasty. At this moment, the sacred flame patriarch and the emperor's master's expressions changed drastically. They swept their gaze behind them and a trace of cold sweat appeared on their foreheads. They were really afraid that Feng Luan would kill them right now. With their strength, they were completely unable to fight against the experts of the entire Dragon Phoenix Empire. Dragon Phoenix Empress, you invited our Phoenix dynasty to attend the ceremony. Could it be that you want to kill us? As the saying goes, if two countries fight, don't kill the envoys. As the #1 empress of all time, aren't you going too far? The sacred flame ancestor said to Feng Luan with an embarrassed expression. That's right, attending the ceremony is attending the ceremony. If two countries fight, don't kill the envoys. As an empire, you have to do things openly. After this, the two empires can start a war at any time. At this moment, a faint voice came from the side. Everyone was slightly shocked and quickly looked over. The 10,000 Demon Empire was said by the 10,000 Demon Empire's Demon Emperor. It seems that the 10,000 Demon Empire is already very dissatisfied with the matter from the day before yesterday. That's why they directly spoke up to help the Phoenix Dynasty's people. Everyone looked at the 10,000 Demon Empire's Demon Emperor standing there arrogantly and they were slightly shocked. Hee, I won't make a move today, and I don't need to. Very soon, I will lead my army to the Phoenix Dynasty and take back everything that belongs to me. Feng Luan's cold gaze swept past the Demon Emperor of the 10,000 Fey Empire and landed on Sacred Flame and Emperor's Master. Dragon Phoenix Empress, don't be so confident. Patriarch Sacred Flame and Emperor's Master said indifferently with gloomy faces when they heard Feng Luan's words. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, an extremely terrifying aura suddenly came from behind. The aura that suddenly rushed over made everyone slightly shocked. A trace of shock flashed through the eyes of the forces that came to watch the ceremony. The Sacred Flame Ancestor and the Emperor's Master felt the aura that rushed over and their faces lit up with joy. Haha, Dragon Phoenix Empress, don't be complacent too early. An empire that has just been established, what right does it have to oppose our Phoenix dynasty? In the past, there was no empress, and in the future, there will be no empress in this world. Ha, Dragon Phoenix Empire, prepare to be destroyed. The Sacred Flame Ancestor and the Emperor's Master looked at each other, then led all of their subordinates and directly flew towards the rear. They floated in the sky and stared at Feng Luan as they coldly roared. The terrifying aura behind them grew stronger and stronger as figures appeared in everyone's line of sight. Hiss! Everyone, all the factions, sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw a huge army suddenly appear behind them. That's the Phoenix Dynasty's army. They should have known that the Dragon Phoenix Empress was the Phoenix Dynasty's Empress long ago. Their army actually directly attacked. Oh my God, so the Phoenix Empire was already prepared. Are they going to destroy the Dragon Phoenix Empire when it's established? Look at the 16 figures in the lead. The one in the middle is the Phoenix Emperor, the current monarch of the Phoenix Empire. He's come personally. 18 longevity experts. All the experts of the Phoenix Empire have come. Based on our observations, the Dragon Phoenix Empire only has 15 or 16 at most. We're not even sure if the girls behind the Empress are longevity experts. I didn't expect that the Phoenix Empire would attack when the Dragon Phoenix Empire was established. Shocked voices came from the experts who came to observe the ceremony. The establishment of the Dragon Phoenix Empire today was simply too shocking. The first Empress of the Eternal Era had appeared. The army of the Phoenix Empire had attacked. Oh no, the army of the Phoenix Empire has actually attacked. Damn it, they were prepared. The people of the Dragon Phoenix Empire felt the terrifying aura and almost knelt on the ground. Their faces were all red and extremely embarrassed. After all, this was the most powerful force of the Phoenix dynasty. I didn't expect it, I really didn't expect it. Are you guys so impatient? Feng Yuan stared at the hundreds of thousands of soldiers in front of her with a cold look in her eyes. Her pair of phoenix eyes stared at the middle-aged man with a beard in the middle. Emperor Feng. My good niece, I really didn't expect that you were still alive. I really didn't expect that you actually established the Dragon Phoenix Empire. I heard that 2 years ago, an empire was established and was directly destroyed by you. It didn't even exist for a day. Now, this emperor will imitate you, huh? A maniacal laughter came out of Emperor Feng's mouth. His voice was filled with strong confidence and a strong domineering air. The voice had a deafening feeling. Some of the weaker people hurriedly covered their ears with a pained expression on their faces. They looked at the expert who was like a god of fire as flames rose around him. Their faces were filled with fear. Feng Cheng, back then, I single-handedly raised you to become the second most powerful expert of the Phoenix dynasty. I didn't expect you to betray me. I also didn't expect you to kill all my family members in the dark. How can an ungrateful person like you be qualified to be an emperor? Anger appeared in Feng Yuan's eyes. Her body moved and she directly floated in the sky. She looked at the army of the Feng dynasty that was flying over 50 kilometers away. Her eyes were filled with killing intent. Feng Yuan, cut the crap. I could kill you 1,800 years ago, but I can still kill you today. Empress? There won't be an empress in this world. When Emperor Feng heard Feng Yuan's words, a ferocious expression appeared on his face. He directly roared. All civilians, move to the rear. All soldiers, get ready. Feng Yun's face was filled with solemnity when he saw the army of the Feng dynasty slowly approaching. He directly ordered all the civilians. Quickly move to the rear. I didn't expect the Feng dynasty to attack us. All soldiers, get ready to face the enemy. A loud shout came from below as the civilians quickly flew toward the direction of the imperial capital. All the soldiers lined up, their gazes fixed on the army that was flying towards them. Every soldier's eyes were filled with a solemn expression. Feng Yuan, you have at most the strength of a Wanshou 4th rank, what do you have to fight with me? These soldiers of your Dragon Phoenix Empire are far inferior to the experts of our Phoenix dynasty. What do you have to fight with me? Emperor Feng looked at the people who were hiding and the Dragon Phoenix Empire's army. He swept his gaze across them and shouted disdainfully. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.